now fully restocked with hot tubs and accessories. And once harvest is over, it's time to relax in your brand new Hydro Pool hot tub from Water Vision in Moose Jaw. Get a good soak after a long day's work. Drop in today while the selection is at its best. The water is calling. Maybe you should answer. Water Vision Pool and Spas, High Street, Moose Jaw.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Access Communications, trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, and home security. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
At one point or another in our lives, we've used the terms in one, or you've said, I think I'm in one, when you're in a situation that you know that may not go well or it's going to end really badly. That's life sometimes. Things don't go your way. But when it comes to sports, the teams and the players we love usually put on an air of invincibility that they can't be beaten. Nothing gets to them, right? That's why we like them. Sports, it's a nice distraction from real life. No matter how mismatched, there's always a chance that you're going to win. Or at least there was, unless you're a Miami Dolphins fan. It's been a rough start to the season, 0-2. Coach looks beat up. Mike McDaniel, wow, you got to feel for that. He looks worn out. They're flying banners over the stadium. Now your quarterback comes out and says he's jealous or he's in awe of the quarterback that they're going to play tonight, Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills. And this was a couple days before the game. Things are going to get ugly tonight in Buffalo. It may not be good. We're going to dive into that in just a sec. Hey, welcome to the Thursday edition of the Sports Cage. Maz here in for Barney. He's on vacation. I think he's an honorary Texan right about now, going to Austin. Sharky's here, along with one of the double C's, Colson Schultz. For the next 3 hours, we're talking sports. And you can get the Sports Cage whenever and wherever you want it. We're live on 620 CKRM. And the CKRM app. We're streaming this show on X and on YouTube. Plus, you can get the Cage on demand as much as you want. Fresh episodes, old episodes, you name it. Apple, Spotify, and Amazon. Calls are always welcome at 866-767-0620. Sports Cage is for Access Communications, trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, and home security. Sharky, it's one thing to end up losing a game in the NFL. There's no shame in that. But when you're out in the press serving up sound bites like this isn't good. Listen to this. This is Tua Tagovailoa the other day talking about Josh Allen and how jealous he is of him.
Coming. Dude, he's top tier. If it's not with his arm, it's with his legs. That dude can do literally anything he wants. So, definitely different skill set for me. I can't do half of what he does when it comes to running the ball and any of that. And then with how he can just chuck a ball down the field, with how far and the arm strength that he has, he's supreme when it comes to that. So it's gonna be fun. Get to see him, get to play him again, and we'll see.
Sharky, is it going to be in the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, or the fourth quarter when the sideline meltdown happens with Tyreek Hill and this team just implodes on national TV?
The one thing I will say about that is Tua doesn't actually play against Josh Allen. So that's more for the defense to worry about Allen and what he can do and what his skill set. He plays against Buffalo's defense. If he came out and said Buffalo's defense was unbeatable and they do everything perfectly and there's nowhere for me to throw or whatever, then it'd be a completely different story. He's in awe of Josh, and I don't disagree with him. The guy's a heck of a quarterback. He did oversell it a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. He's maybe looking for an autographed jersey at the end of the game, like the old jersey swap and a sign-off. Mm-hmm. But his concern is more Buffalo's defense than it is their quarterback. And maybe their whole play calling and his own brain health might be as much to do with it as anything. That's a sign of too many concussions.
Somebody needs to pull him aside to be like, listen, it's one thing to have respect for the opponent. And maybe you go out there and say, listen, hey, you know what? Talented, both sides of the ball. We're in for a game. But I like our squad. I like our guy. And just wrap it at that. Because now you've opened this can of worms. How do you walk into your own locker room again when you've got guys going, yeah, we wish you could throw like Josh Allen too. We wish like you could run like Josh Allen as well. So maybe let's zip this. That's why I'm asking, when's the Tyreek Hill meltdown happening? First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, or does he wait till the fourth? Does he have enough patience? He's maybe already asked for a trade. He might have already gone into the GM's office and said, really, this coach, this GM, might be time for me to move on. The Dolphins do appear to be the NFL's first and biggest tire fire of the year, with a lot of trouble going on, both, I think, personnel-wise as well as scheme-wise. I'm not going to give them... Sometimes you have to build your scheme for your personnel. Sometimes it's reverse. You build the personnel, you find the personnel for your scheme. In this case, I don't think either are really, really good, and Tyreek might be the only guy in there that has the ability to move on and play somewhere else. The rest are going to the UFL. If you are a Dolphins fan and you're listening, and you're like, Maz, I hate you so wrong. Challenge me right now. Text the Prairie Land Rentals text line, 306-936-6262. Tell me and tell yourself how this is all going to work out and be okay if you're a Miami Dolphins fan, because I don't think so. They had a players-only meeting after the first game of the season, and Sharky, you've been around sports long enough. That's when early. You have a players-only meeting, nothing good ever comes of this. And Colson, I think we have this ready. Here's what Luke Wilson, who won a Super Bowl in the NFL, had to say about Tua and the comments.
Do you see this as just high praise, Luke? Or do you think Tua's maybe being a little too honest here?
Yeah, Jay, I found it really interesting. Like, I obviously don't disagree with anything he said as far as Josh's abilities, as we've seen that for a long time now. But for Tua to come out and kind of compare Josh to himself, like, Tua is the 5th pick overall. Like, this guy's supposed to have a lot of weapons here. He was at Alabama, the best college, during the Nick Saban era for over a decade, it felt like. So to be like, yeah, you can do a lot of things I can't do. And I think what made it worse and what just kind of made really me cringe was the fact that Miami looks horrible right now. Now, they played better week 2 against the Patriots, obviously still lost. But week 1, they were horrendous against the Colts. So it's like the fact that, one, you're in question for a lot of this situation. Your head coach is on the hot seat. It seems like an absolute fire sale over there. And then you're coming out being like, yeah, this guy can do a lot of things that I can't do. I don't know if he meant it that way. Like you said, if he was being just kind of professional and praising his opponent, I'm not sure. But it doesn't really sit well with me. And I would imagine that it doesn't sit well with a lot of the receivers in that locker room as well, if you know what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Sharky, they are 12.5-point favorites, those Buffalo Bills, tonight in Buffalo. Okay, so are you taking? Holy smokes! I know. So, but are you taking the spread? Because I mean, Buffalo, yes, they're 2-0. That first game against the Ravens, they really couldn't stop anybody early. So, what do you think? Is Buffalo enough to cover that spread? Oh, I think so. I think so. And obviously, there's some trouble in Miami, and like you said, there's a players-only meeting already. There's a quarterback coming out praising players on the other team. I do think the NFL is kind of in tiers. It really is in tiers. And Buffalo's in tier 1. They're one of the elite teams in the league. There's a team that really has a shot at going deep in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl. And Miami's a team that is like literally not going to win 5 games. Right? They might finish 4-12, 3-13. So Miami's in the bottom tier. So to give that kind of point spread is, I think, huge, but also maybe indicative of where both these franchises are right now. Buffalo's got the potential to carry that. There's no doubt about it. It is the start of week 3 of the NFL season tonight, and just a couple of quick ground rules for everybody listening or everybody watching. Number 1, nobody cares about your fantasy football team in your lineup. Don't put it on social media. Don't be asking for trades. Nobody cares. Your wife stopped listening 5 years ago. She doesn't even know what fantasy football is, and she doesn't care. Number 2, if you're a San Diego Charger / LA Charger fan, just because you're 2-0, let's look back on past history of how many Super Bowls you've won. Let's temper the expectations that you will be knocking off the Kansas City Chiefs to make it to the Super Bowl, and then you're going to go on to win. Let's just maybe dial that down a notch. It's week 3.
and I've said this to a few people about the NFL, it really doesn't pique my interest till about week 6 or 7. And by that I mean we got to get rid of these 2-0, 0-2 things that everybody's screaming blue murder or we're going to the top. Because until you do that and you're 6-0, then I'm going to believe in you, or you're 0-6, then I'm going to believe it's a disaster. But to come out right now and go we're 0-2 and we're garbage and we'll never win again. That Kansas City's too good a football team. They get too many weapons. They didn't become stupid overnight. So Kansas City's going to figure it out. They're going to get on the right side. Just like the Chargers didn't become brilliant overnight, and they're going to make mistakes, and they're going to go back down.
Charger fan, you have no past history to build on of being great, coming through in the clutch ever. Oh, do we have a show today? Man, did Barney he picked the wrong couple days to take off to go on some crazy
give yourself
vacation.
Credit, Maz. You put this together. Don't say Barney's missing. You put it together, baby. This is your job.
Oh, I don't know. In a couple of minutes, we're going to be joined by Saskatoon Blades play-by-play guy. First question is, how long has Les been calling Blades hockey? Les Lazaruk. It's a long time. It's got to be close to 3 decades now. He's got to be close to
I think he goes back to the old Saskatoon arena. I do.
Really? Well, okay. He's coming up. Rams wide receiver Nicholas Sirleaf coming up. Now, Nicholas Sirleaf is from the hotbed of CFL receivers, where Joe comes from, Brooks, Alberta. We know what the smell of the cattle plants are there. What's in the water that's producing these high-end football players?
A lot of protein. A lot of protein out of there.
Hour number 2 at around 4:30. Country star, music star, sports fan. I want to talk sports with him. Besides music, Darius Rucker will join us. Darius Rucker of Hootie and the Blowfish. Darius Rucker of country music fame. Coming to the Brand Center October 20th. Tickets on sale at Ticketmaster.ca. He'll stop by at around 4:30. I'm stoked. I can't wait to talk to him. And our usual Thursday suspects, Arash Madani just after 4, and Coast to Coast with Glen Suitor just after 5. Big weekend in the CFL. Riders are on the bye, but there's a lot of moving pieces, and the playoff picture could look incredibly different.
Wow.
After this weekend.
Big time.
And there's some good games. And one of them has the Edmonton Elks in Hamilton to play the Ticats. And I think Edmonton, with how they've been playing lately, could give Hamilton its hands full and maybe come out of, I'm going to call it Ivor win, and they don't call it that anymore because it's a new stadium, with a win on Saturday.
Is it the donut? Do we call it the donut now?
No, apparently that
Hortons?
expired. We talked to Rick Zamperin, the play-by-play voice, and apparently that sponsorship expired last season, and he said they were close to naming a new one, but that never came through, or it didn't as of yet.
It's just the Hamilton football field is where we're at now?
Hamilton Stadium officially, I believe.
Hamilton Stadium? Okay.
Hamilton Stadium, yeah.
That rolls off the tongue nicely.
And couple of things. It's a good day. Jimmy Kimmel's not on TV anymore, but who was watching him anyways? I don't think anybody was. And Sharky, pat yourself on the back. This Rider tailgate thing started with you and Barney. I was on it because Pilsner Cup was doing tailgating regardless, whether we had permits or not. We were going to ask for forgiveness, not permission. But the Riders have sent a letter to the government to say, hey, can this potentially be a thing? And it's good. Football is an event. Hockey and everything else is a sport. It's a game you go watch. But football is an event, and it's an atmosphere. And tailgating at Mosaic, chef's kiss.
I heard
awesome
Winnipeg's got a great setup for it, and I think somebody realized we were getting shown up by Winnipeg and said, this can't happen. This has got to come to an end. We cannot be shown up by Winnipeg. We've got to have tailgating. So that's where I see this coming from. Okay, and if you're in Winnipeg and angry, send in a text. We'd love to hear from you.
Can I add another ground rule? This has nothing to do with NFL. If tailgate, so we talked fantasy football, San Diego Charger fans. If the tailgate thing comes through, you pulling up in a Honda Civic hatchback, cracking the windows, turning on your stereo, and drinking in the parking lot, that's not tailgating. No. You got to bring a motor home and a picnic table and a barbecue and all of that. You just can't wheel up from the liquor store and roll down your windows and just start cracking tall boys. That's not it. That's not the spirit of it.
That's not what it's about.
I know somebody will do that. That's not what it's about.
Minimum, you're going to have either charcoal or propane, but you're going to have some sort of cooking device there. Can't see it happening any other way. And at least a jumbo-sized cooler full of refreshing beverages. So that's what I look forward to. Yeah, you know what? It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be the place to be. I think it's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be pretty cool.
It will add a whole new element to Saskatchewan Roughrider football. We'll dive into that and more. We'll take our first break. When we come back, we'll be joined by the voice of the Saskatoon Blades, Les Lazaruk. This is the Sports Cage on the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. Combined with a LiftMaster opener, it's the right choice. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. And a LiftMaster opener. 100% made by Canadians for Canadians. Steady, tariff-free pricing and great quality, no matter what.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Did you know over 1.3 million homeowners call on Reliance for their water heater needs? With over 140,000 five-star online reviews and over 60 years experience, you could say Reliance Heath are water heater experts. Switch to Reliance Heath today. They'll give you $200 plus standard installation is included. For all your hot water needs,
call on Reliance.
Visit waterheaterrentals.com for details. Terms and conditions apply.
The Regina Thunder NFL Lottery is back, and tickets are available now. Each $20 ticket gets you the chance to win up to $500 each week of the NFL season. That's 18 chances to win. Tickets are available until October 6th, and you can still win for the weeks already played. No football knowledge needed. Proceeds support the Regina Thunder Student Athlete Scholarship Fund and team operations. Get your tickets at ReginaThunderNFLLottery.com.
Lottery license RR240660.
This summer, if you're thinking of a new building, think Olympic Buildings. They're engineered from top to bottom to be better than the rest. Strength, solid design, and impressive good looks are all standard on an Olympic farm building. Visit olympic-buildings.ca.
Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram presents the Price Beat Guarantee. All right, folks, here's how the game works. Bring us any competitor's price on a brand new vehicle, and we won't just match it, we'll beat it. And if we can't, you walk away with $1,000 cash. Guaranteed. But wait, there's more. We're offering 20% over Black Book value for any trade brought in this month. The Price Beat Guarantee. Only for a limited time at Crestview in Regina.
It's the Scratch and Save event on now at Ashdown's Furniture in Moose Jaw. Scratch up to 40% off from now until September 30th. At the time of purchase, scratch and save to reveal your savings from 10% to 40% off. Woohoo! Sale applies to in-stock and special order home furnishings. Brands like Decorest, Palliser, Lazy Boy, Elran, Mako, Kingstown, Minus, and so much more. Now is the time to scratch and save. Woohoo! At Ashdown's Furniture, 38 High Street West, downtown Moose Jaw.
This fall, get the perfect cut every time. With Kubota's powerful, reliable zero-turn mowers, you'll mow like a pro. Right now, get financing as low as 0%. See your Kubota dealer for details.
Sportscage continues. You can watch our live stream at sportscage.com, on our YouTube channel, and always on the radio. Saskatchewan's voice for local sports, 620 CKRM.
The Toronto Blue Jays wrapped up their series with the Tampa Bay Rays earlier today. They get shut out 4-0. They're going to move on to play the Kansas City Royals, but so far so good. The A's beat the Red Sox 5-3. Yanks will play the Orioles later. First pitch there goes at 5:15. So the Blue Jays, as it stands, 3.5 up on the Yankees, 6 games up on the Red Sox, but they do have a series with the Red Sox before they round out the season. Sports Cage on a Thursday afternoon. Maz here along with Sharky. A couple of things. I'm trying to chunk through this on Netflix. There's that Cowboys series all about being America's team. And basically it's Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones has been crazy since he's been born. So the Dallas Cowboy moves. And then the other day it was released, the Charlie Sheen documentary. Sharky, have you seen any of that? Because oh my God.
I watched about a minute. Well, you just think of the newsreels of Charlie Sheen as they came out over time. The divorces, the weddings, the drugs, the exotic females in his life. Now he's got incurable sexual diseases. Like, the guy lived or max out. Don't get me wrong, right? My favorite Charlie Sheen quote is, I don't pay them for the sex. I pay them to leave when I'm done. But I don't know if I can say that on the radio. Did I do that? Do we have the break for that?
Well, if you haven't seen it, so if you don't know, you haven't heard Charlie Sheen lately, he's 8 years sober. And one of the reasons why, and I haven't seen it yet, and maybe they go into it. They talk a lot about his movie roles, but to me, one of my favorite roles for him was Ricky Vaughn in Major League when he's a pitcher for the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, one of my favorite sports movies ever. And by the way, speaking of favorite sports movies that are underrated, do you remember the movie Draft Day with Kevin Costner? About him being the GM of the Cleveland Browns?
Yeah.
I love that movie. The older it gets, the more I watch it. It's so good, but it got so little attention when it came out. It probably, maybe not to... There are probably real glimpses of what it's like to be an executive in the NFL in that movie.
I think so, without a doubt. And I think it's not exactly the same for every conversation or every chit-chat that goes on or every phone call, but that's what a lot of those phone calls are like. Do you want this guy, right? Your fans are screaming for him. Do you want him? Hang on, I got another call, right? Well, now you've stopped him from making that decision and you put the pressure back on him. There's a lot of cool things in that movie about how to communicate with people to get what you want or to get get the goal you want out of it, and to have a plan. Maybe not tell everybody, but the plan changes as it goes along. I thought Kevin Costner was great in that. I love the guy who was the head coach. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, and how he came out in that. Dennis Leary, yes.
Dennis Leary.
Yeah.
Dennis Leary.
And how he came out in that. But, great sports movie. Obscure Charlie Sheen reference. Do you remember him being in Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Yes, he's the like the stoner kid sitting on the couch in the principal's office. There was always one of those.
He's in the cop
every
shop.
high school.
He's in the cop shop.
Yeah,
when the daughter gets taken to the police station. Yes, the rare small Charlie Sheen film.
Week 16 in the CFL will kick off tomorrow night. Montreal at Toronto. No Nick Arbuckle. It was announced earlier today for these Toronto Argonauts. So you're going to have Seth Daggy, who's going to be your starting quarterback, I believe, who came in relief last week, did enough for the Get to win. I think if Montreal can win tomorrow and get on a bit of a roll, they may be exactly where they want to be heading into the playoffs, because as they're getting healthy, I think they're also getting dangerous. And when we look back and go, they went through a 5-game losing streak. If they put a streak of wins together here, that's going to be ancient history. I don't think anybody's going to remember, because they'll be the team nobody is going to want to play in the East when it comes playoff time.
I don't disagree with you at all, and I still think Montreal's got a shot to finish first. I picture them over their next 5 games going 4-1. They're going to get their other quarterback back. But McLeod Bethel-Thompson did not look out of place last week, obviously, as he ripped the two Rider inexperienced corners apart. I do think that Montreal is getting players back at the right time and giving themselves a chance to win. And I think that's really critical. And, Toronto's losing Arbuckle. They're going to quarterback number 3 or 4 on their depth chart, whereas Montreal's going to get lots of their number 1s back. So Montreal's a team to watch in the East, without a doubt. Big weekend for them.
We'll dive more into the CFL picture here in a little bit. Let's go to the Western Pizza guest hotline. As advertised, he's now joining us. He is the longtime voice of the Saskatoon Blades in the Western Hockey League. Les Lazaruk, welcome back to the show. Question number 1, Sharky and I, we don't know the answer to this. How many years, starting tomorrow, if that starts the new season, will it be of you calling Blades hockey?
This will be year number 32.
So you don't go back to the old Saskatoon Arena then?
I do not. No, I started in September of 94. It just seems like I've been around forever. Not bad for a guy who's only 50, right?
Well, you look great. You look great for your age. Yeah, you look great.
I look even better considering I'm 66 now. There you go.
Is that the actual age,
right.
Les? Is that
That's the actual age, yes.
Well, congratulations. You look fantastic. Yeah.
So if you started in 94 doing Blades hockey, what team were you calling before that, before you ended up with the Blades? And did you think you'd end up staying 32 years?
I'll answer the second question first. No, I did try to go to other places, but there were complications that arose that didn't allow that to happen. And I'm very happy that I've been able to stay for this long and have that kind of longevity. The first part of the question, I wasn't doing hockey play-by-play. I was at CJOB in Winnipeg for 10 years, my hometown, 10 and a half years, and got to work under the great Bob Irving with CJOB, of course, the longtime voice of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and did a lot of different play-by-play things, even curling on the radio on the for OB, as well as basketball, the old 6'5" and under basketball league, the World Basketball League. I did the Winnipeg team there. I did the Winnipeg Gold Eyes the summer of '94 when they came back to be. I've done basketball. I've done baseball. I've done curling, like I said. Football. I've done every sport. I like to think I'm an athletic supporter, not just a hockey guy.
All right. So here, let's ask you your Winnipeg roots question. Bombers are kind of not the Bombers that we're used to.
Oh.
But, there's still enough talent there. And Mike O'Shea, good coach. They're piecing it together. There is a chance they could miss the playoffs, and we don't often say that about the Winnipeg Blue Bombers of the past 5, 6, 7 years. Do you think that there's any chance that they don't make it into the postseason in the CFL?
Certainly there is. It all depends on the health of Zach Collaros. Chris Streveler and Mike O'Shea can say all he wants and defends Streveler all he wants. He cannot play quarterback at this level. I mean, I don't even know how he got to the NFL. Well, I do know how he got to the NFL. He's got good size and he can run, and he's very effective running the football. If you take that away from him at the CFL level, then you force him to throw, and he can't do it effectively enough to be a winning quarterback. The Bombers are in trouble as long as Collaros is out of action.
Interesting comment you make, Les. I want to take you back to the Blades, though. You don't drive the bus as well, do you? Not like the Medicine Hat
No,
guy?
I'm not Bob Ridley. I'm not Bob Ridley. That'll never happen. I don't have my Class 1 or Class A license or whatever the heck it is you have to drive that sort of a thing.
And it's also a good time for a nap. Let's not kid ourselves, right? It's a good time to have a little rest on the bus.
I've perfected being able to sleep on the bus over 32 years to the point where I'm sure I've probably kept everybody around me awake with my snoring.
Well, good for you. So, and because you've got this experience in Western Hockey League and over that period of time, give me a favorite game or facility you like, or a unique scenario that you've uncovered in your lengthy career.
Okay, my favorite place to broadcast from is the Art Hauser Center in Prince Albert because you're practically on top of the action.
That's right. Yeah.
That's where we'll be tomorrow night to start. It's a great broadcast location. Unique occurrence would have been 1996, just before the playoffs started, in Prince Albert, still called the Communiplex back then, and the lights went out. A transformer blew, and I went 45 minutes without realizing I could have sent it back to the studio and had them play music. Instead, I rambled on and ran through all of my prep and kept us on the air for 45 minutes until they finally fixed things up. And while I'm watching this, there's a guy going back and forth trying to determine which transformer needs to be fixed and does he need a ladder or not, which of course he did. And it was back and forth and back and forth and back and forth before he finally got the transformer fixed and we were able to finish the game. It was in overtime, and about a minute later the Raiders scored, and that was the end of it. So that was one unique, interesting game. And then probably the greatest game I ever called would have been in the 2013 Memorial Cup when the Blades beat the Halifax Mooseheads in the Memorial Cup. That Mooseheads team that was so terribly good with Nathan McKinnon on that squad. So those are the ones that come to mind. Although I will say that the recent playoff years that the Blades have had back in 2023 and 24, 23 coming back from 2-0 down and 3-1 down to the Regina Pats and beating Connor Bedard and the Pats in 7 games. And then the next series, reverse sweep over Red Deer, winning in 7 games. And then the next year taking Moose Jaw all the way to 7 games, with 6 of those 7 in the Eastern Conference Final going to overtime, which was absolutely bonkers.
What a great memory for those events. Fantastic. Holy smokes.
I better be good at something, so...
Now, 32 years riding the iron lung, that's a lot of kilometers. That's a lot of good pizza, bad pizza, good weather, bad weather. After a while, it can wear and tear. Do the players keep you young? Does the injection of youth and the personalities make it interesting year to year to say, yeah, let's go. I'm ready for another one. Let's fire this thing up.
Very much so. The kids are great. I mean, I haven't encountered many bad kids. I could probably count them on the fingers of both my hands. That's over 32 years. For the most part, the kids are great. They're accepting of this old creepy fart who's sitting in a seat up near the front, and they understand what my job is, and I try to give them the respect they need in order to do what they need to do. But the synergy between what I try and do and what they're doing has always worked for whatever reason, and I'm very thankful that it's been able to last this long over, well, coming up on 2,300 games worth, I guess.
So 2,300 games, wow. Now, Blades start this year. Where are we at? Is this the team to beat in the East? Where are they going to be in the mix?
Oh, they're in the mix. Where the team to beat, maybe not. I know in their minds they believe they are, but it's going to be tough. In the East Division itself, the three teams that finished 2 points apart from each other last year, Prince Albert, Brandon, and Saskatoon in that order, will probably battle like that. As it stands right now, will probably battle like that down to the bitter end. But the big thing is, though, is that there's still a lot of new things thrown into the mix. The whole NCAA rule change. It's almost impossible to know for sure. Like, you used to be able to say, okay, teams are losing these players and they're getting these ones coming up, and these guys should be making a step up. This year, though, you've got the influx of Americans and junior A players coming into teams who are older players in some instances, joining squads, and you have no idea just how good they are and how they will adapt to the Western Hockey League. Plus, you've lost players in some instances who have gone on to play U.S. college. And, of course, a team like Victoria, who lost 6 guys that were eligible to play this year, they're gone. But they do have some kids coming in that are Americans and junior A players. So maybe they'll be able to, fix those gaps being left. Medicine Hat, they lose Gavin McKenna, Caden Lindstrom, and Ryder Ritchie. And yet I think they're still going to be as good as they were last year. Maybe not quite as dynamic offensively, but certainly they've got the goaltending and the defense to take another run at winning the Eastern Conference and the Western Hockey League Championship.
You mentioned Medicine Hat and the Gavin McKenna thing, and obviously he's the biggest prize free agent of all, with the most NIL money. But you know Willie Desjardins. He's a good Sasky guy. Mm-hmm. If there's anybody that you could pick to kind of have to deal with a catastrophic roster turnover like that, is Willie kind of the guy built for it to be like, all right, let's not panic. We got this. We're going to be okay. I've seen some stuff.
Oh, yeah, he's seen a lot of stuff. And absolutely, I think he's a very good person to be in command of the Medicine Hat franchise and try and navigate them through what they're going to go through this year. So I have full confidence that Medicine Hat will be a very good team and will give people all kinds of troubles before all is said and done in the 2025-26 season. I will say this about the Gavin McKenna situation. A lot of people are grousing about the fact that, how could he do that? And why would he leave? Well, there's 700,000 good reasons for it, A. But B, does he really have anything left to prove at this level of hockey? He's done everything. No. He has led the league in scoring. He has, he's been able to lead his team to a championship. They came within a couple of goals of winning the whole ball of wax in the Memorial Cup. He doesn't have anything to prove anymore at this level, so let him move on. The only bad thing about it is that when his name is called first overall in the NHL draft next June, it won't be as a member of the Medicine Hat Tigers of the Western Hockey League. It's going to be as a member of the Penn State Nittany Lions from U.S. college hockey in the NCAA. That's the only bad thing about it. And trust me, at the league level, they don't like that, but he doesn't have anything to prove and doesn't owe this league anything.
It's an interesting point you bring up that he doesn't have anything left to prove, that he's done, other than win the Memorial Cup, he's done it all. He's still going to have a shot at World Juniors with Team Canada. That isn't eliminated. This is maybe a personal opinion I'm asking you on this NCAA thing. How long do you think till this kind of washes out and we know where everybody's how it's all going to work out? Because right now we got a whole bunch of balls in the air and we don't know what we're juggling.
Yeah, and I think it's still going to take a little while. I'm curious to see what happens come Christmas time. There are some young guys who are not 20 years old, who are graduated high school, are 18, 19, and made the jump to the NCAA this year, and they're going to find out in a big hurry, I think. I'm no expert on this, but I really believe, I'll go back to my own university experience. I went for 2 years, got 1 year's worth of credit, and majored in the Umzu pub and minored at the Manitoban newspaper way back when in the late 70s. These kids are being exposed to something that they have never dealt with before. There's the university life, A, and B, the whole idea you're playing hockey against guys who are 23, 24 years old in some instances. Are you getting the ice time? Are you the number one center? Are you on the first power play unit? Probably not, unless you're really special like McKenna. So are you happy at Christmas time that you've sat out maybe a couple of weekends, that all the promises that were made to you maybe aren't coming to fruition? Maybe they are, maybe they won't. We'll see if there's going to be some guys making their way back with tails between their legs, or they're going to stick it out and they'll find a way to make it work for themselves. If they do, good on them. I'll give them full credit, but I fully expect to see there will be some decommitments at some point in time. If not at Christmas time, then at the end of this season, and you'll see even some guys who have committed and haven't yet gone saying, maybe I'll wait another year or two before I take that jump down south.
Very, very interesting. I agree with you 100% on that, by the way. I'm totally on the same page as you.
Yeah.
That was a very Saskatchewan term we heard growing up from mom and dad, that if you ever went to university, you're not graduating at Christmas. And that still is applicable, I think, how many decades later?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Les, so you're around a sports franchise and team and bonds and unity, and it's the culture and it's the group. Let's go 5 hours northeast or northwest to Edmonton and the Connor McDavid word salads and all of this, and nothing's going to get done. Do you think, in your professional opinion, this distraction and sideshow will only hurt them as the season goes on and on and on and on? Because unless he signs or says, I ain't coming back, this thing is going to be its own three-ring circus off to the side.
Well, it'll be a circus off to the side, but it'll be a circus that is made, for the most part, by the zealous media types who are going to want to keep bringing it up and bringing it up and bringing it up. And the Oilers will get sick and tired of it. And in my mind, in my heart, as much as I would love, believe me, I am one of the few people around this province who don't like the Edmonton Oilers at all, being from Winnipeg. That's the bad news, the Edmonton Oilers. However, I really, in the end, think that he will sign an extension with the Edmonton Oilers, and it'll be a done deal, and everything will be wonderful in central Alberta, I guess you'd call it, northern Alberta. But the capital will be fine, and McDavid will be there, and the Oilers will win their Stanley Cup somewhere along the line with him in the lineup. I never fear. I don't think this is something that's going to get too terribly off the rails, if you will.
We are on the same page on everything today. Holy smokes, I agree with you on that 100% as well. Maybe it's because we're closer in age than we think. That could be.
There you
just
go.
tell us who you vote. Just tell us who you voted for in all the past 3 elections, and then we'll wrap it up from here. Les, safe travels tomorrow on the bus to Prince Albert. As the Blades will kick off another season. And as a kid who grew up in Saskatoon, are we ever going to win a Memorial Cup? Because that's the one thing that we don't have. And, that's the one thing that keeps my hope alive, to be like, maybe this is our year. Maybe not.
Maybe. I don't know. I'd like to think so. I don't know. We just got a new 3-year contract with the radio station here, if you don't mind me saying, CJWW in Saskatoon. 3 more years. Will it happen in the next 3 years? I'd like to think so, but we'll see.
Sharky, call your bookie. As always, Les, appreciate it. Have a great afternoon.
Thanks, guys.
It's a futures bet.
Okay.
Les Lazaruk joining us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline, voice of the Saskatoon Blades. Time to take a break. When we come back, a little Can West football. We're going to talk with Nicholas Sirleaf from the Regina Rams, the 5th-ranked football team in the country, Regina Rams. We'll do that next on the home of local sports here in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
It's the perfect place to hold your event. It's the perfect place whether it's for a trade show, fundraiser, dance recital, company team building event, or off-site business meeting. It's the perfect place for your wedding with exceptional catering services, venues perfect for a group of any size, and plenty of on-site parking. The perfect place for your event is the Connexus Arts Center. Get all the details about hosting your next event at the Connexus Arts Center at connexusartscenter.ca. See you at the center.
Plan for success in 2026 with the help from the Co-op Grow Team. With the latest on-farm technology, our agronomists will work with you to gather and interpret soil samples, analyze data, and gain more insight into your fields. We offer local expertise and trusted advice to help you plan your inputs and prepare for the unexpected. Get ready to make data-driven decisions with Co-op Ag Zone. Make a successful 2026 crop plan to meet your field's potential. Talk to your Co-op Grow Team today.
Are you relying on credit cards to make ends meet? Are you making just the minimum payment and carrying a balance month after month? It's time to break free from the debt spiral and take control of your finances. I'm Jasmine Brown, a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Regina. During a free consultation, I can explain all your debt relief options and stop your credit card bills from piling up. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Employer pricing is back! Right now, you pay what I pay. You pay what we pay. It's amazing. And guess what? You don't have to do any work.
Right now, you pay what I pay.
They get our discount?
Yeah.
Can you believe it? We got over 100 F-150s. We got over 50 Super Duties. We got Escapes, Bronco Sports, over 300 new vehicles to choose from. We got it all. Don't miss the employee pricing at Capital Ford Lincoln.
In an ideal world, you're already driving one. When you're behind the commands of the Fendt Ideal Combine, you experience a workhorse that takes harvest to task. Real-time monitoring, 485 bushel grain tank that unloads at 6 bushels per second, all backed by a 3-year full machine warranty, plus all scheduled maintenance ensures your harvest doesn't stop. Now that's how you grow bold. See the Ideal Fendt Combine at Nick's Service in Emerald Park. nickservice.com.
Back before the world turned topsy-turvy, we met Betty. And we apologize if we offended any Bettys back in 2019 with our commercial. While we're on the subject of forgiveness, we're also sorry if we offended any Bull Elks. One thing that offends everyone is not getting your trailer winterized. Learn from Betty and take it to affordable trailer sales today. Highway 1 West, South Service Road. AffordableTrailerSales.ca.
Why test for asbestos? Because before 1990, asbestos was commonly used in more than 3,000 building materials and other products. Because when asbestos fibers become airborne, they get into the lungs and cause severe damage over time. Because asbestos exposure is the #1 cause of work-related deaths in Saskatchewan. Built before 1990? Test for asbestos. Start at WorksafeSask.ca.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. From skid steers to tents to power tools, anything you need to rent for that summer job is at Prairie Land Rentals. Deal with the owner, 600 Albert Street. It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. For all your hot water needs, call on Reliance Heath today.
The Toronto Blue Jays wrapped up their series with the Tampa Bay Rays. They lose, getting shut out for nothing. Good news, though. The A's beat the Red Sox 5-3 tonight. The Yankees take on the Orioles. The Jays are 3.5 up on the Yanks. Week 3 in the NFL kicks off tonight. The Miami Dolphins in Buffalo to take on the Bills. It may not be pretty. Bills favored by 12.5 points. Kickoff will go at 6:15. Welcome back to the show. In hour number 2, right around 4:30, we'll be joined by Darius Rucker, Hootie of Hootie and the Blowfish, or Darius Rucker of country music fame, who's coming to the Brand Center October 20th. We'll be on the Sportscage in about 40 minutes' time. It's Maz in for Barney today, along with Sharky. Let's go out on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline and say hi to our next guest, who's a second-year wide receiver with the University of Regina Rams, Nicholas Sirleaf, joining us. How are you, sir? How are things as a Ram today?
Everything is great. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. Quick question. You're a student athlete. What are you studying in school?
Psychology.
All right. Yeah, it's a class I didn't take. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, I was going to say. Nicholas Sirleaf, second year with the Regina Rams. You're from Brooks, Alberta, home of a Joe and Joe. What is it that Brooks, Alberta is starting to produce these really good Canadian wide receivers? Because I think you may be on the same trajectory he is. What's happening with Brooks in football that you guys are starting to become a bit of a factory there?
Honestly, there's not a lot going on in Brooks, so we focus on mainly just sports. So I think that's definitely the reason why.
Colson, do we have a bad connection there, a bad internet connection? Or we're a little.
Colson's working on it.
We'll just. Colson's working on it.
Yeah,
nice. We'll do that. Nicholas, now I know that the stock answer would be every game is important. But tomorrow night, you guys traveled to Saskatoon to take on the Huskies. Let's be honest. There's games circled on the calendar that mean a lot more than others. Is beating the Huskies tomorrow night one of the most important things you're going to do this season in Saskatoon?
Most definitely. Honestly, I'm very for the Huskies. Their rivals. We want a W, and they're a great team. They're a great team to be a good game to watch as well.
Colson, we may need some extra repair on that.
Yeah. We'll do that. I think we're having some technical difficulties here with Nicholas and his internet connection. Listen, it could be a Sportscage thing. Maybe the cable bill wasn't paid. I don't know.
The lights are still on. The lights are still on.
Sharky, the lights are still on. We'll get to that. Yeah, Rams are ranked number 5 in the country. Yeah, we'll try and reconnect. I mean, this stuff happens all the time. And Sharky, it's true. The stock answer, every game's important. They're all important in the Canada West. But you're going to Saskatoon tomorrow night to play the Huskies. And it's a win. Get on that bus and come back home. And you go to 4-0.
The Huskies got to be in their bonnet because they went in there and won the Hardy Cup in that stadium, took it away from Saskatoon last fall. And I guarantee you that is on the billboard, right? That is the message. They're not going to come back into our backyard and steal our gas again. So I look for a much more determined Huskies team than they've been all season long as they prepare for this Rams game. The Rams, however, they don't want to go to 3-1. They want to go to 4-0. They got a chance to do that and stay in that top 5 and maybe move up in the national rankings. And nobody's saying it. The Vanier Cup is being held in Regina this year. They're not talking about that in the Rams dressing room. But going to 4-0 enhances your opportunity for a home playoff game, and thus a greater look at that Vanier Cup opportunity as it comes up in November. So, 2 teams with a lot on the line, if you will, and a lot to prove to each other Friday night.
A couple of generations of Regina Ram football, a record was broken. So the Rams are now 3-0 for the first time since 2002. They won 37-20 on the road in UBC Friday night. UBC, good squad, but I don't think it's not the Huskies. I know the Huskies, they'll lost or whatever, but it's just funny. There's wins that mean more because somewhere along the way, if you were to go back through history and you check it out, you will play the Huskies probably again. Somewhere along the way, if you want to get to the goal of where you're going, they're probably going to be in the way. Now, are you going to get Scott Fleury's team twice? I don't know, but you got to get him once. If you can't not. And last year was big. Getting them there, that was big. How many people, Sharky? Let's be honest. I remember on the Friday show before the game, like all of us sitting around going, well, it's been a kind of a magical year for the Rams. But we all
they're going to Saskatoon.
They're going to Saskatoon. Put in a good effort. It's a building block for the future. Put in a good effort. If you don't win, there's no shame in that. The season's still a victim, and then they go and they win.
The whole Regina Saskatoon thing just gets accentuated when we get to the football season. Whether it's the high school championship, Regina against Saskatoon for the provincial title, whether it's the Thunder and the Hilltops, whether it's the Rams and the Huskies, it just gets accentuated all the time. I think this game is bigger than both teams will tell you it is. It's the Huskies' chance to catch up to the Rams. If they bring them back to 3-1, they're tied for first place. That's what they want. And they also can't let the Rams get away and be 4-0, right? That puts the Huskies in a bit of a dogfight. Canada West is so tough. It is so tough. There's no free spot on the bingo card. There's no middle X on the bingo card in Canada West. And going into Saskatoon, and the other thing is, it'll be packed. Like that little stadium, right, in Saskatoon, right on campus, it'll be packed. They'll have it full to the rafters. They'll have some form of tailgating. I don't know where it'll be, but they'll have some form of tailgating prior to that game. So, yeah, it's a big night in Saskatoon, and it's going to be a great football game.
I love the fact that it has a name, tailgating. Sharky, we all grew up this way. It was just drinking in a parking lot before it had a fancy name. That's all you needed. It was a car and some liquor and some people. That is it.
Now you have to have a truck.
Did we know we were tailgating? Yeah, well, a truck, car, mom's car. A Pontiac, an 81 Pontiac Acadian that had a red door. The car was blue, but Dad found a red door at the auto wrecker because the window was screwed up in the other one. Anyways, like I love it. We were tailgating. Honest officer, we were tailgating.
We were just tailgating. Know. Yeah, we didn't know it was against the law. Yeah. It was a green 68 Dodge idea. Coronet. I didn't have a Pontiac Acadian. I had a Dodge Coronet. Yeah, beautiful car. Okay. Loved that car. Yeah. No, it's a big game. It's big, and you know what? Saskatoon, get out there, support your Huskies, because the Rams will be bringing some fans up, and they're going to put as many as they can into your park to cheer on their team to go to 4-0.
So tomorrow night, Huskies. Then Saturday, 27th, Manitoba Bison come to town. It's a 2:00 kickoff at Mosaic. Then Saturday the 4th,
Calgary
take on the Calgary Dinos. Another home game at Mosaic. Then they're at the U of A Golden Bears. Then they're back here to take on UBC at Leibel Field on the 24th. They always take Thanksgiving weekend off. I wonder about that because the seasons are short. I don't like it because play when the weather's better. Don't take that week off, okay? Don't have the Vanier on the 22nd of November. Have it on the 15th because there's a better chance of better weather, all right? There's no dome stadiums involved here. Do you really want to be? Yeah, ooh. So
it's a 8-game season, not an 18. You don't really need a bye week in the middle of it, but they do that for whatever reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, time to take a break. Hour number 2 of the Cage coming up. It's going to be busy. We'll go coast to coast with Arash Madani, Clayton Kershaw, the Dodgers. Big announcement there. We're going to dive into the CFL, and we will be joined by Grammy Award-winning, ACM and CMA Award winner Darius Rucker on the Sports Cage. That'll happen at around 4:30. This is the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
Durability, capacity, speed. MacDon D2 Series Combine headers deliver all the best performance and innovation of the FD2 Flex Draper in a rigid platform. The D2 boasts an all-new frame that features a superstructured 5-sided back tube. This solid backbone is ready to handle the up to 20% increased capacity of an ultra-deep 50-inch draper deck. And that draper fills quicker with MacDon's clear-cut high-speed cutting system. With MacDon's rock-solid reliability, the D2 gets you more from every acre. Get it at Young's Equipment.
Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram presents the Price Beat Guarantee. All right, folks, here's how the game works. Bring us any competitor's price on a brand new vehicle, and we won't just match it, we'll beat it. And if we can't, you walk away with $1,000 cash. Guaranteed. But wait, there's more. We're offering 20% over Black Book value for any trade brought in this month. The Price Beat Guarantee. Only for a limited time at Crestview in Regina.
This is Cal from Cowtown with an important public service announcement. This back-to-school season, everyone's talking about slowing down in school zones, healthy lunches, and apparently education is sort of important or something like that. But it's so easy to forget the pets. The dogs and the cats. Are they eating healthy and nutritious food from Cowtown? Or are they being forced to eat grocery store filler? Are they chewing down on the highest quality chew toys? Or are they chewing down on Auntie Loretta's stinky old slipper? Do you have the treats that will satisfy those cute puppy dog eyes? Forget the kids for a second. Think about your dog and your cat.
Cal, whoa. What are you doing?
Straight guy, I'm kind of busy here.
How many dogs and cats bribed you for this message?
A lot.
In town, out of town, for toys to treats and the best pet food going, it's gotta be Cowtown. Cowtown Canada on Facebook.
Cow, no radio station is gonna play this commercial.
I know, unless I cut them in on some of this bribe money.
At the cabin or on the farm, Access Rural Internet gives you speed and service you can rely on. Right now, get Access Rural Internet for as low as $69.95 a month for 24 months, including free service calls by our local techs, a free Wi-Fi router, and a strong, reliable signal matched by our strong, reliable customer service. Great service is never far away with Access Rural Internet. Visit myaccess.ca to book your free site survey.
The Regina Thunder NFL Lottery is back, and tickets are available now. Each $20 ticket gets you the chance to win up to $500 each week of the NFL season. That's 18 chances to win. Tickets are available until October 6th, and you can still win for the weeks already played. No football knowledge needed. Proceeds support the Regina Thunder Student Athlete Scholarship Fund and team operations. Get your tickets at ReginaThunderNFLLottery.com.
Lottery license RR240660.
We are the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM Regina, a Harvard media station.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM News. Dream officially began work today on Coopertown, a long-anticipated new neighborhood in northwest Regina. The 1,800-acre project will include homes, parks, trails, and commercial space. Dream plans to develop 1,200 acres over 30 years, eventually housing 36,000 people. The first 220 acres will be built near 9th Avenue North and Courtney Street, with grading already underway. Housing construction is scheduled for fall 2026. Dream says Coopertown will include rentals, multifamily, and single-family homes to meet Regina's housing needs. Rainfall across Saskatchewan slowed harvest but improved soil moisture conditions in many areas, according to the weekly provincial crop report. The province's harvest is 53% complete, still behind the 5-year average of 73%. The southwest region is the most advanced at 66%, while the northeast trails at 42%. Peas and lentils are nearly finished, while canola harvest is just beginning with 21% in the bin. Chickpea combining is slower, with 27% harvested. Producers continue to work despite recent delays. Applications are closing for a federal program that loaned funds to homeowners interest-free to make energy efficiency improvements to their properties. The Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation says the Canada Greener Homes Loan program is to wind down on October 1st. Cindy Garreau is the executive director of the Canadian Association of Consulting Energy Advisors. She says with less than 2 weeks' notice that the program is ending, energy advisors are scrambling.
The administrative burden is significant on a small business. I think they'll be getting a lot of phone calls from people saying, quick, I need my audit tomorrow. And you can only do maybe 3 audits in a day.
Garreau adds that homeowners planning upgrades are now left stranded, and energy advisors are having to inform clients that they won't be able to submit paperwork for a loan in time. Prime Minister Mark Carney is appointing one of his topmost political aides as Canada's next ambassador to the United Nations.
The Prime Minister's office says Justin Trudeau's former Justice Minister, David Lametti, will replace former Liberal leader Bob Rae as Canada's representative at the UN. Lametti was brought into Carney's office in July to serve as his principal secretary, but Tom Pitfield, Trudeau's chief digital strategist, who is married to Quebec Liberal MP Anna Gainey, has remained on board as principal secretary since the spring and shared the role with Lametti for weeks. Kyle Duggan, The Canadian Press, Ottawa.
And a prosecutor says a suspected stalker armed with a rifle hid at his ex-girlfriend's home in Pennsylvania and ambushed police officers who came to arrest him, killing 3 of them. York County District Attorney Tim Barker says the motive is not yet determined.
There is one motive, though, that is clear for everything, and that is the hateful scourge of domestic violence.
Police arrived at the scene on Wednesday afternoon and noticed the door to the home was unlocked, even though the ex-girlfriend and her mother had locked it before leaving the property for their safety. Officers opened the door and were immediately fired upon by the suspect, who was carrying an AR-style rifle with a suppressor. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Souls Harbor Rescue Mission is celebrating its 35th anniversary serving southern Saskatchewan. We'd like to extend a big thank you to all of you for helping provide real answers for real people. We've served over 3 million meals to those in need, over 200,000 hours of addictions programming have been provided, and over 150,000 nights of shelter have been given. Again, thank you. Donate now at shrmsk.com.
First Nations University of Canada invites you to join their annual Smudge Walk to honor the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation on September 25th. The day starts with a pipe ceremony at 8 a.m. and the walk through the First Nations University of Canada and University of Regina campuses begins at 9:30. Presentations and special announcements will follow with a community lunch on campus at noon. The first 200 people attending will receive an orange Every Child Matters t-shirt. For more information, go to fnuniv.ca.
620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast is for Line-X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street. It'll be cloudy tonight. We'll have a low of 11. Tomorrow, mix of sun and cloud and a high of 19. For Saturday, sunny, warming up to 24. Sunday, sunny at 26. And for Monday, cloudy showers and 19. Right now, cloudy and 18 degrees in Regina.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram presents the Price Beat Guarantee. All right, folks, here's how the game works. Bring us any competitor's price on a brand new vehicle, and we won't just match it, we'll beat it. And if we can't, you walk away with $1,000 cash. Guaranteed. But wait, there's more. We're offering 20% over Black Book value for any trade brought in this month. The Price Beat Guarantee. Only for a limited time at Crestview in Regina.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Access Communications, trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, and home security. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Things to keep in mind. Glen, Suitor, and press coverage an hour from now. It's a busy weekend in the CFL. In about 30 minutes, we'll be joined by Grammy Award-winning singer Darius Rucker. Darius is coming to the Brand Center in Regina on October the 20th, and he's going to join us at 4:30. We can talk music, but we can also talk sports. If you don't know anything about Hootie, he is one of the biggest sports fans out there. And how about his South Carolina Gamecocks and Lenora Sellers, this quarterback phenom? We'll probably do that, so stick around. It's Maz in for Barney today. Sharky is here, and if we're ready to, are we going coast to coast with Arash Madani? There's a lot going on in the world of sports and the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yep.
No Arash yet?
Nope.
We got him?
He's here? No, he's not here.
No, we got no Arash?
No, not yet.
No, not yet. Killing time. Colson says kill time. Maz,
kill some time.
Hey, Sharky, can I ask you a hypothetical question? You're married. You had kids. All right?
Okay.
And let's just say a married guy that has a bunch of kids, and 3 of them are going to 3 different schools this year, and it's a little confusing. If one of the people that are the parents of the kids forgets to pick one of them up at a certain point in time in a day, what's the statute of limitations that can be brought up against you going further on in life?
Well, first off, I would ask the other parent,
okay,
did you ever get a ride home from school? You turned out just fine. So they can obviously get home from school, right?
Ooh, I didn't have that in my holster, Sharky, so go on. Yes.
Yeah. Because I never ever got a ride home from school. Ever.
I know. It's right? 2025.
It blows me away that I see cars sitting outside of school waiting for their kids, especially when they're driving blocks. Like, I get it if you got to take them to the doctor, the dentist, or some other appointment or something's going on. But when you drive 3 blocks to take your kid home from school, come on. Right? So the statute of limitations is immediately up. Immediately up. It's over.
Well, no, but the precedent's been set that things from the past can always be brought up when convenient. I'm just wondering, what's a good time frame that I need to keep this at the top of my mind. That this can always come back to, but is it 6 months? Is it a year? 5 years? Like, where are we at on the forgetting to pick up one of your kids from school?
It'll be brought up forever. It'll never go away. Okay. It's just the amount of insult that'll be added to it each time will change. It'll never, ever go away. It's the insult. It's a good thing that was
that was just a hypothetical situation, but at least I have an answer in case that ever I do face that. All right, let's go coast to coast with Arash Madani.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for smart investing solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
All right, there he is. Oh, it's Arash in a vehicle. We got a lot to get to, Arash. Breaking news. I wish this would have happened about 6 weeks ago when the Blue Jays were in L.A. Clayton Kershaw's going to hang him up at the end of this season. Thanks, Clayton. You couldn't have done it a little sooner. Moo.
Well, he wants one more October, Mass. I mean, and I think he's earned it. 18 years, 3 Cy Youngs, an MVP, a couple of World Series. I spent a lot of Octobers covering the National League playoffs, which meant a lot of Octobers at Chavez Ravine. And I'll tell you this, guys. It didn't matter who you talked to in that Dodgers clubhouse. You walk through that locker room, guys would tell you, man, nobody outcompeted Clayton Kershaw. And he had a reverence. When Ross Stripling's first 4 or 5 years of his career, he was a pitcher with the Dodgers. He came to Toronto for a couple of seasons. And I asked him, what was it like being around Kershaw as a young guy? He said, I just followed him around like a puppy dog. I wanted to just see, what does it take to be Clayton Kershaw? He said, on the road, all the guys in the rotation would be in a group chat. You get a message, 12:30 Uber to the ballpark. It wasn't mandatory, but Strip was like, hey, no one's missing that ride. When Clayton says it, we're going. And, I thought one thing that was interesting that Stripling talked about, he said, Clayton wasn't a legacy chaser. He said a lot of us were hoping that he would be. But that just wasn't in his DNA. So I think he's announcing now he wants one more October, and then I think he's going to be perfectly content doing whatever it is in the next phase of his life.
It's interesting that guys get to make their own call, right? When they get that opportunity to say, this is it, I'm done. When Father Time doesn't win, they win, isn't it?
Sharky, 0.01% of athletes get to do it.
Yep.
The very special few. I mean, it's often decided for you. There are still probably dudes out there in their 50s who think they can still go out and, give them a few snaps or, throw a few pitches or take a few shifts on the ice. And not just that with Kershaw. From the jump, he's only been with one organization. Who does that anymore, period, let alone for 18 years?
And one organization and win, too. That's the other thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right. It's week 16 in the CFL, and the best part about being a Rider fan, since we don't play this week, I watch football without anxiety. I can just sit back. But Arash, there's so many good games. This weekend, depending on how it plays out, the playoff picture gets that much tighter, that much screwier. A lot of moves can be made here in the next 72 hours.
This is a massive week for the BC Lions. This is a massive week for Nathan Rourke. I don't know about you guys. Here we are into the final third of the season. I still don't know what to make of them. It's like they're really good for 57 minutes and then they fall apart. They're really good in spurts, but they can't put 4 total quarters together. They get to around 500, then they can't stay there. There's so much talent around the football team, but they can't seem to put it together. And now you go into Calgary, and the Stamps are starting to show some of their true colors now. And you're saying to yourself, okay, this is a West Division that outside of Sask is wide open. There is still a home playoff game up for grabs here. Are Nathan Rourke and company going to go get it or not? And I think a lot of that is going to be answered this week when the Lions play the Stamps.
Equally big equally big is Toronto, Montreal, and Edmonton and Hamilton, because some teams could get eliminated, right, or fall off the table. Winnipeg's got to beat Ottawa, and if they don't, they're in trouble, right? So which one's your favorite to watch other than the first one you talked about?
I'm honestly fascinated by the Toronto Argonauts because they have a ridiculously bad roster. They are now on their fourth different quarterback. The fact that Arbuckle's down is just like, oh my God, are we serious right now? Like this is what's happening. Going up against an Alouette team that just got a career renaissance out of McLeod Bethel Thompson. So I'm intrigued to see what the Argos are going to do. The other team is Edmonton, guys. Are the Elks coming or not? You know, with Fajardo, I don't know where this has come from, but it took them a while too. So to me, those are the two teams that are like most intriguing for different reasons, but everything's on the table. Could Edmonton cross over? Sure. Could Winnipeg cross over? Sure. I know I've said this a few times on the show. I'm just, there is nothing more that I would want than for Winnipeg to cross over, win the East, and play in the Grey Cup out of the visitors' locker room in their own stadium. To me, that is the pièce de résistance of what would make it CFL in a nutshell. I think that would be fantastic.
So CFL-y. Arash, football coaches and speeches this week. Mike McDaniel, who looks horribly lost. But then Mike O'Shea yesterday was that a Chris Streveler pump-up speech? Was that more for him? He was telling that to himself that Streveler is a good quarterback? Was that meant for the public? Is that just for the luck? Because I don't know if he would have won an Emmy Award for that performance when he was talking about his starting quarterback he's got to use this week going forward.
I mean, what's he supposed to say, I guess, Maz? Like, that's the issue. But, I mean, and look, obviously it's a massive step down from Collaros to Streveler. But when this Blue Bomber team was 3-1, I came on the show and I told you they don't look good. There's a problem here. This is I wouldn't smoke and mirrors. It's just what you saw. And through this season, everything that I told you after week 4 is kind of coming to fruition. It feels like the message is getting stale. It feels like this football team got old fast. It feels like they're just doing the same old thing that isn't working anymore. And now they're trying to convince themselves, each other, the public, whatever, that Chris Streveler is going to be some kind of answer. Look, even Zach is looking long in the tooth at times this season. They have run this whole thing back 2 years too many, and that's a lot of the guys on the roster, and that's the head coach too. And at some point here, the results are going to speak for themselves. So that's kind of been my take. Sharky, you've heard it all season.
Oh yeah,
and I haven't wavered from that on the Winnipeg front. Yeah,
it's been there from the beginning. Thursday night football. We're going to Buffalo. Miami's coming to town. How bad is this going to be?
Well, you're going to find out tonight if this Dolphins locker room gives any iota of a bleep about Mike McDaniel as a coach. If you tell me right now the final score of this football game is going to be 38-6 Bills, I'd be like, yeah, I can see a pathway to that. Mm-hmm. So you're going to see if there's any kind of fight, any kind of resolve, any kind of anything from this Dolphins team and how much they believe in their coach. Because the easiest thing to do, as you guys well know, a long week ahead, Thursday to the following Sunday, it's a lot easier to make a coaching change when you have 10 or 11 days between games than 7. And this is a Dolphins team that was a lot of hype, and it's just been in a free fall. Like, they were 9-2 to start last season, guys.
They were, yeah.
And they've been a disaster ever since. And the Mike McDaniel act is wearing thin. So I think we're going to find out a lot about what the guys in uniform think of their head coach tonight.
I want to ask you, how do you think they're going to get 6 points? Where are they going to pull that rabbit out of?
Well, it's still Sean McDermott's special teams.
Yeah. Maybe a pick six and miss the convert. Like, Tua will have nothing to do with it. Like he'll have absolutely nothing to do with it.
No, they'll go for two, Matt. They'll go for two and they'll blow it.
That could be.
There is that. I think for some of these players outside of Tyreek Hill, because obviously he lives on his own planet and it doesn't matter to him. I think like a Jalen Waddle he came from a good system. He's a team guy. I mean, Tagovailoa came from Alabama. For some of these guys that, like you said, Arash, that are probably going to turn on the head coach, he's also the head coach that has protected you and put you on a 53-man roster. So if he's gone, you could be gone too, because with 9 days between games, that general manager, whoever he is, if he survives this too, could be like, all right, and you got to go, and you got to go. Because, Arash, you probably saw the statement from the owner the other day. Although we're not happy with the result, and I'm like, this isn't good, and I didn't even read the Facebook thing. We fully support Mike McDaniel. I'm like, players only meeting after game 1. The owner's coming out with a Facebook message in week 2. End it by week 3. Put Mike McDaniel. Give him his humanity back. Just let him go.
Yeah, you know what they say. The vote of confidence is translated is kiss of death. Right?
Yeah.
VOC equals KOD. So
nobody's ever done well. Nobody's ever done well after the vote of confidence. They've never turned it around.
Yeah, when VOC equals KOD, there's a lot of WTF going on.
Hey, Blue Jays. They dumped today.
Yes.
They lost 4-0 today. They're there. They're going to clinch, right? They're going to clinch. But pitching's still a concern?
Well, Sharky, they're going to clinch, and they announced today that Trey Savage is going to start a second time this weekend in Kansas City, which is the most un-Blue Jays thing that they've ever done. Taking a prospect they drafted last year, move him up 5 levels in one season, throw him into a big league game as a starter in a pennant race against a division opponent, and no big deal, 9 Ks from the big right-hander out of East Carolina. I tell you, not only did he look good, I think this is an important thing to remember. For a rookie starting pitcher, he didn't look at a place.
No.
Like, remember, a few months ago, he was pitching in Dunedin, and he was pitching in Vancouver, and he was pitching in New Hampshire, and then he's pitching in the big leagues. So Savage may be in a situation where he could be in a clinch situation this weekend, which if he delivers and performs like this again, and look, there's a lot of ifs here because, Major League Baseball is going to get some film on him. They're going to get more of a scouting report on him, the rest. But if this continues for another couple outings, is this guy in the October conversation when the playoffs roll around? Man, what a story that would be.
Wouldn't it? It would be so exciting. You'd be cheering for the kids so hard.
It'd be hard not to.
Yeah. So hard.
I'm excited once they do clinch. And Arash, we touched on this a few weeks ago, what the price of the playoff tickets are going to be set at, because ticket prices for any professional sport are just bizarro world anyways. It's like when it's time to cash in, you've got to cash in, especially in baseball, because there is nothing guaranteed from one season to the next. So I am fully looking forward to that first post on social media where someone's like, the fifth deck is only $600 per seat for games 1 and 2 of that, and they'll all be sold, and it'll be packed, and it's going to be crazy, but it's not for the common person anymore. It's for us to be watching on a couch, not
everything's become a luxury brand. Yeah.
Toony dogs at playoff games. No Toony dogs.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
It's a good story. Aaron Judge keeps hitting home runs. What did he pass? It was a Mickey Mantle, Yogi Berra. Just name a Yankee. He passed them last week in his home run thing. What would if we want to wrap on this, what would the Yankees be without Aaron Judge? Would they be anywhere? I mean, they have a stocked roster, but really, Aaron Judge he's kind of key. When he's going, they have a chance.
Oh, yeah, of course. And the bigger question to me is, what would they be had Garrett Cole not gotten hurt at the start of the season? I think that is the real question in the AL East. Look, it's a competitive division. The Blue Jays have been very fortunate. Injuries didn't derail them. They were able to survive when Max Scherzer was down. They were able to deal with, even now without Bichette, and they were without Bo earlier in the season, but they've been relatively very healthy for pro sports seasons comparisons. So to me, yeah, Judge has been great. If Cole was there, it's a different conversation. But the name of the game at this time of the year, guys, is get hot and be healthy. And the Blue Jays right now are a combination of both, and the Yankees are not.
Great point.
Arash, Sharky and I will take that as personal advice going forward. We each of us need to get hot and stay healthy. I don't know. It's maybe easier said than done. I don't know about the hot part. Maybe mild to lukewarm.
We're looking for a sponsorship for Hair Club for Men is what we're looking for. That's
I'm not going to Turkey. Forget that. That looks painful.
I'm staying hot and trying to get healthy. That's the difference.
Yeah.
All right. For the cooperators, coast to coast with Arash Madani. All right. Have a great afternoon, sir. We will catch up with you on Tuesday. It's Arash Madani here on the Sportscage. All right. Time to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Darius Rucker. Yes, that Darius Rucker, who has been a country music star for the past 17 years. His debut album came out 17 years ago this week. He rose to fame as the lead singer of Hootie and the Blowfish. He's a huge sports fan. He's a personality, and he's going to be on the Sports Cage next, right here on 620 CKRM.
When's the best time to buy a new Volkswagen? Right about now. The Volksfest sales event is here. Finance all 2025 Volkswagen models from just 0% for 24 months. Or lease the fully electric ID Buzz for 0% for up to 48 months. Plus, get up to $1,000 Volksfest bonus cash on select Volkswagen models. Only until September 30th. See your local VW dealer today. Conditions apply.
Volkswagen. A bad investment decision is pretty much guaranteed to be a waste of your time and money. Today we live in an ever-changing, fast-paced world with information moving in the blink of an eye. Now, more than ever, you need to ensure that you're consistently making good investment decisions. Good investment decisions will compound your money over time and protect your capital while helping you avoid making dumb mistakes.
Don't guess with your money. Call Brian Golly of Smart Investing Solutions at 546-2533. Brian specializes in helping his clients make smart investment decisions.
Hockey is back, and what better way to kick off the season than a visit to Extreme Hockey and Sport? September is Customer Appreciation Month, where every purchase qualifies you to receive your money back. At month end, 2 lucky winners will win back their purchase. Size doesn't matter. Product doesn't matter. Extreme Hockey and Sport. Locally owned, community-oriented, customer-focused, and don't forget the price match guarantee. Extreme Hockey and Sport, 1425 McIntyre Street, and the Pro Shop, conveniently located at the Cooperator Center.
At the cabin or on the farm, Access Rural Internet gives you speed and service you can rely on. Right now, get Access Rural Internet for as low as $69.95 a month for 24 months, including free service calls by our local techs, a free Wi-Fi router, and a strong, reliable signal matched by our strong, reliable customer service. Great service is never far away with Access Rural Internet. Visit myaccess.ca to book your free site survey.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Meet Todd. It's noon. He's really hungry, and his stomach makes sure to let him know it.
Todd, we talked about this. No more skipping meals. I need cheese. I need crust. I need Western Pizza.
All right. Western Pizza it is.
Western Pizza. Dine in or take out today before your stomach starts making demands.
And get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
When the rut kicks in, there's no room for second chances. Get locked, get loaded. That's where Cash Tactical comes in. Brands like Browning and Winchester firearms, award-winning Vortex optics, and a full selection of ammunition.
start with gear that's as tough as you are. Cash Tactical, Regina's hunting, fishing, and camping headquarters. 2176 7th Ave in the Warehouse District.
Experience a harvest so fundamentally different with performance and efficiency other combines just can't match. Experience a Gleaner S98 from Nick Service. There's no inefficient gearboxes or hydraulics robbing your combine of power, keeping your Gleaner a lean, mean harvesting machine. They save more and cost you less. To learn more about putting a Gleaner S98 on your farm, visit Nick Service, your AGCO dealer in Emerald Park. nickservice.com.
The Sports Cage Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077.
We've got to go Regina Rams for Clutch Performer. Marshall Erickson, Noah Peltier, and Nicholas Sirleaf, who all had career highs in their win last week. 37-20 on the road, UBC. Nicholas Sirleaf, we had on earlier. We had some technical difficulties. If you're tuning in for that, we had a bad internet connection. We couldn't get that solved. Well, hopefully we can get them back on the show next week. They got to get ready. They're taking on the Huskies tomorrow night in Saskatoon, as we mentioned. All of the games are important. No, they're not. You go beat the Huskies in Saskatoon.
This one.
If we're being honest. Yeah, this one right here. There is NFL action tonight. Week 3 kicks off. The Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. Was it in hockey? Yeah, it was in hockey, right? When they fired the coach, and was it Gerard Gallant, and they didn't let him get back on the plane because they fired him after the game? Yeah.
Yeah, he had to find his own way home. Yeah, that might happen tonight, too. McDaniel might have the same thing.
Mike McDaniel have to catch a JetBlue or a Spirit Airlines flight from Buffalo back to Miami?
Amtrak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a clutch performer.
6:15.
Clutch performer to me is the Saskatchewan Roughriders, provincial government, Real, whoever else is involved in getting tailgating to the Rider games. This is a big move. This is going to be a real positive thing for the experience at the games. I look forward to seeing it take place next year.
All right. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. This guy is not only, he's a Grammy Award winner. He's won Academy of Country Music Awards, Country Music Association Awards. He's also a South Carolina Gamecock fan. Let's talk some college football. We say hello to Darius Rucker on the Sports Cage. Darius, how are you?
Hey, you guys. I'm good, man. How y'all doing?
Fantastic.
Not bad.
Yeah.
The South Carolina Gamecocks, if we're going to start talking college football, these Gamecocks and this phenom quarterback, Lenora Sellers, you got to feel good, don't you? I mean, there's a bit of a vibe happening in South Carolina these days.
Yeah, I love him. I think he's a great player. He's great for the program. Losing to Vanderbilt last week kind of sucked, but
wow.
Loris is one of those one-of-a-kind talents. So yeah, I like him a lot.
Darius, I love the nickname, the Gamecocks. I think it's one of the best nicknames in college sports. You're an alumni of the school. Beyond football, what other programs do you follow there?
Oh, I'll follow everything. I follow everything from football to equestrian. Women's basketball is big there. Men's basketball. All the sports I'm a big supporter of. But like I said, even down to equestrian.
Well, I just looked it up. They got a hockey program. Have you followed the hockey team at South Carolina? Yeah.
Yes, I think we won the club championship, the college club championship. I think last year or maybe the year before. Yeah, I follow them. They're good. I mean, we get a lot of kids from the north coming down there, so our hockey team is pretty good.
Love it.
Darius Rucker joins us on the Western Pizza guest hotline here. He's going to be at the Brandt Center in Regina Monday, October 20th. Tickets are on sale at ticketmaster.ca. Darius, it's the 17th anniversary of your debut country album coming out, Learn to Live. That was earlier this week. Of course, a lot of us come to know you as the lead singer of Hootie and the Blowfish. Do you ever get tired when people tell you, because I'm going to tell you, that Cracked Rear View, that album kind of changed my life and changed music for me back in the mid-'90s when that thing came out, that I've listened to it thousands of times?
Oh, man, whenever somebody says that, I feel great. That record, was so big for us. It did so much for our career. When you hear, somebody say what you just said about what it meant to them, as a musician, that's all you want to do is make music that people like. And to know that record affected people the way it did. That's a pretty cool thing.
Hootie was a great band, and we all enjoyed it. There's no doubt about it. But you're coming to Regina October 20th, playing the Brandt Center here, the hockey arena. What can fans expect from that show?
Well, my shows are a party. I mean, the band. We know that if we're not having fun, nobody else is going to be having fun. So we play all the hits, and you play a bunch of the Hootie stuff, a few of the Hootie songs too. And I mean, it's just all really for me. It's all about just having a party and making sure everybody hears the songs they want to hear, and leave there going, man, I'd like to see that again.
Now, if we go back in time to before when your first country album came out, you're coming from the pop world. You won Grammy Awards. Everybody knew you. Were you hesitant, nervous, trying to break into the country music scene because nobody knew you as that?
Absolutely. No.
So how did you navigate that? No.
I was really just I was going to do it on my own, and my manager just didn't do things that way, and so he went out and got me a record deal. I really just wanted to make a country record. It's just something I talked about doing for a while. I actually tried to get Hootie to make a country record, and it just never happened. And so when we decided to stop touring, I just said I'm going to go to Nashville. And to be honest with you, I mean, I knew I was going to work hard. I knew I would try to make the best record I could make. But with the climate of country music at the time and coming over from the pop world, I really didn't think I had much of a chance. But Mike Duncan, who was the president of Capitol Universal at the time, said, "You give me a good record, I'll give you the chance," and he did.
We know Nashville as now it's a party city. You go there, 16th Avenue, like Broadway, it's completely different. Stagette parties and all that. 17 years ago, it was completely different. Did you feel like you had to go there as a newcomer and kind of start over and make new relationships there and establish because they didn't know you in the country world?
Oh, I mean, yeah, definitely. I definitely felt like I had to I felt like I had to start over. That was actually something I said to my label, that I just wanted to come in here like I was a brand new artist and do all the things the brand new artists do. Like my first record, my first single, I went to something like 105 radio stations. And I just told them I wanted to if we're going to try to make this work, I want to be the new guy. And they treated me like the new guy, and we went out and we did all the work, and it paid off in the end. Don't think went to number one. It was amazing.
They don't treat you like the new guy anymore, Darius. Obviously, great career, Grammy Award winner. I mean, you've done some amazing things. What's next for you, though? What's the next piece that you're planning on bringing out?
I'm working on a record right now. I actually went over to London to make my new record, and we're finishing it up right now. And I'm so excited for people to hear it. It's just really I'm just trying to make records. So, I'm a musician. I just want to make records and play shows, and that's what I'm getting to do.
That's awesome. I'm just a musician. I want to make records and play stuff. Love it. Love it.
Can you explain now? You've got a lot of hit singles, but can you explain to me, or maybe you can't explain, why is Wagon Wheel such a hit that it's the show closer? People go nuts for it. It is like the song. Like I get it. It's a good song, but I'm like, when you see people react to that, like in a club or a dance floor, like, holy, Wagon Wheel is a banger they can't get enough of.
I really tell you, that's one of those songs that I will never be able to explain. I'm so happy it is what it is. But everything you just said is true about it. It's just, I mean, it's a great song, of course. I mean, Dylan and Ketch wrote a great song. And I love our version of it. I think Lady A sounds amazing on it. But with that song, when you play that song anywhere, all over the world, when I play that song, it's just the place explodes. And it's just one of those songs. It's one of those songs all of us as an artist we look for, a song that will impact people like that. Yeah, and whether we wrote it or we didn't write it, as an artist, you just want a song that can do that. And Wagon Wheel, I mean, that song, I love that song.
When you come through here, Darius, in October, who's traveling with you? Do you know who's part of the act or the opening act for you as it comes
I'm not
through?
sure.
They haven't
I'm really
let you know?
not sure who's the opening act. They haven't told me yet. You know who I've been playing a lot with though, and I got to tell you, this kid is so good. Is Jade Eagleson.
Nice.
That kid.
Yes.
His voice is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I love singing with that guy. Yeah, he's done some shows with me. I hope he's doing shows with me up there, but he did shows with me in the States, and that kid is unbelievable.
Nice. I look forward to seeing it.
Question for you. The American audiences, you play a lot in the States. The Canadian audiences, I'm going to ask you to play favorites here, and you can give whatever answer you want. Who drinks more and who gets more invested in the party? Because I've been to your shows before. We kind of did okay.
Oh yeah, I love playing up in Canada. The thing that Canada has over the States is that you don't play there very often, and so when we do get up to the Canadian towns and provinces, I mean, it's a party, man. They're there to have a good time, drink some beer and listen to some country music. And I mean, I love it. Like when we looked at this and they asked me if I wanted to do it, I was like, please, let's go play Canada. It's been so long since I've been up there. So yeah, when we get there, everybody's ready to go, and I love that.
I look forward to the show. Yeah, this is going to be outstanding.
Darius,
it's going to be fun,
is your
man.
NFL?
It's going to be fun.
It's week 3 in the NFL season. Who is your NFL team?
The Miami Dolphins are my NFL team. And basically,
don't say.
If we lose to the Bills tonight, the season's over. I'm going to pack it in if we lose to the Bills tonight.
You're losing to the Bills tonight. Okay. I got bad news for you, Darius. You're losing.
I know it. I know.
But, okay. If you're a rational Miami Dolphin fan, and you sound like you're one, is this team with Mike McDaniel and the piece of that, is it salvageable? Like, could they turn around and go 15-2 after starting 0-2? Like, is there something there to work with?
I actually called that today, but, that was just optimistic Darius saying that. I don't see, barring a couple trades to get, offensive line and just get, I don't see the Dolphins turning it around enough to make the playoffs. No, I just don't see how we can do it. I don't think that team can do it. Look at the way we looked in week 1. We almost didn't score. You got all off season to prepare for one team, and we almost didn't score.
What a great way to put it. You got 40 weeks to prepare. We weren't ready. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. I think it's going to be a long year for the Dolphins.
Okay, so if you have to write off the Dolphins, and we know that nothing good's going to be there, do you have an alternate team you will cheer for because the Dolphins give you heartache and pain every year? Is there kind of a team you're mildly warm on?
Absolutely not. I hate them all.
That's good. You're passionate. You're loyal to the end.
I want to see win the Super Bowl. No, not one.
Nice. Have you ever been a pro? Oh, speaking of the Super Bowl, is this some people to be the entertainer at the Super Bowl? Some people are like, no, it's good, it's bad. Where do you fall in on that? If Roger Goodell calls, are you there? What songs do you want to play? How long do we get? Where are you on? Because some people shy away from that because they know what it can do for their career if it doesn't go well, and social media doesn't love you.
That's one of the things for me for my bucket list. I would love to do, something if they wanted to do some, from the 90s or something, or just, from Hootie and country. I think we could really put on, there's some big songs right there, and you had a couple other people. It could be really fun. But that's, like I said, that's on my bucket list. That's a dream. I don't know if me or Hootie will bring it up. I'm sure if somebody else is doing it, we could be a part of it. But, playing in the Super Bowl, I've said this before, if the Dolphins were to win the Super Bowl I played at halftime, then I would just step off the field and go, okay, I'm ready. What else is there after that?
Darius, thank you for the time. We appreciate it. Darius Rucker is going to be at the Brand Center October 20th. Tickets on sale at Ticketmaster.ca. We'll let you get ready to watch the Bills game tonight. I don't know how it's going to go. It may not go well, but we do appreciate your time. And just know that the Saskatchewan audiences love you, and we can't wait to see you. And we'll all go nuts when Wagon Wheel comes on.
Take care. See you soon.
All right, for sure. Take care.
Darius Rucker, 3-time Grammy Award winner on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. At least he agreed with me on the Wagon Wheel, because to me that's not his best song, but it's the song that people go nuts for in concert. They just lose their mind.
Yeah, everybody can sing along to that one, so it's a great tune to hear, and I look forward to seeing him on the 20th. Yeah.
There's something about Let Her Cry, from Hootie, from Cracker Review.
Yeah.
Like just like his voice and all that. That's one of those songs I can hear again and again and again. And the best part about music, it will stop you and it will take you back to a certain point in time in your life or give you a certain feeling. And like I said, Cracker Review, and I wasn't the only one. Everybody owned that album or that CD or that cassette, and it was a game changer. So Darius Rucker, thank you.
Without a doubt. Yeah, cool.
Oh, time to take a break. When we come
Colson's
back,
giving us signs.
I think we're just going to come back and just talk to Colson about his landlord and see if there's a paving stone situation. I need to take a little breather. This is the Sports Cage. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes on 620 CKRM.
Sask Lotteries has over 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
Affordability in Canada is getting worse. Canadians are now paying nearly half their paycheck towards taxes. That's more than on food, clothing, and shelter combined. It's unacceptable. Conservatives stand with hardworking Canadians and will take aim at the affordability crisis by bringing down taxes, cutting spending towards needless bureaucracy and consultants, and fight for fiscal discipline in this Liberal government. My name is Warren Stanley, your Conservative Member of Parliament for Regina Louvain, and I will always be on Saskatchewan's side.
Paid ad by Warren Stanley.
In an ideal world, you're already driving one. When you're behind the commands of the Fendt Ideal Combine, you experience a workhorse that takes harvest to task. Real-time monitoring, 485-bushel grain tank that unloads at 6 bushels per second, all backed by a 3-year full machine warranty, plus all scheduled maintenance ensures your harvest doesn't stop. Now that's how you grow bold. See the Ideal Fendt Combine at Nick's Service in Emerald Park. nickservice.com.
At the cabin or on the farm, Access Rural Internet gives you speed and service you can rely on. Right now, get Access Rural Internet for as low as $69.95 a month for 24 months, including free service calls by our local techs, a free Wi-Fi router, and a strong, reliable signal matched by our strong, reliable customer service. Great service is never far away with Access Rural Internet. Visit myaccess.ca to book your free site survey.
Have you ever tried convincing a 1,000-pound animal to walk half a mile for a drink? Yeah, good luck with that. Cows aren't moving, and frankly, they don't care about your schedule. So instead of turning your pasture into a full-blown cattle negotiation summit, install a Keln solar livestock watering system. You can drop a pump just about anywhere. No grid, no trenching, no drama. So let the cows chill. You move the water. Keln Solar. They move water because your cows won't. Visit kelnsolar.com.
SEIU West members are
Medical Equipment Coordinator,
Combined Laboratory and X-ray Technologist,
Orderly, Biomedical Engineering Technologist,
File Clerk,
MRI Technologist,
Carpenter, Pharmacy Technician,
Cardiology Technologist,
Staff Scheduler,
Information Technology Analyst.
The backbone of your public health care system. Learn more at seius.ca.
Get it fast, Western Pizza.
Meet Todd. It's noon. He's really hungry, and his stomach makes sure to let him know it.
Todd, we talked about this. No more skipping meals. I need cheese. I need crust. I need Western pizza.
All right. Western pizza it is.
Western Pizza. Dine in or take out today before your stomach starts making demands.
And get it hot, get it fast. Western Pizza.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sport, Regina's locally owned one-stop hockey shop. Now with a price match guarantee. 1425 McIntyre Street.
Toronto Blue Jays lose to the Tampa Bay Rays earlier today 4-0. They're on to take on the Kansas City Royals as they'll open a weekend series tomorrow. Yankees play the Orioles tonight. The Yanks are 3.5 games back of the Jays. And tonight, Darius Rucker's Miami Dolphins. Oof, poor guy. Taking on the Buffalo Bills. 6:15 kickoff tonight. The Bills are favored by 12.5 points. This is the Sports Cage. Yeah, we just had Darius Rucker on. If you missed that interview, you can always go back and listen to the podcast of the Sports Cage. Apple, Spotify, Amazon. If you hit the subscribe button when the new episodes are uploaded, they'll just automatically just show up on your phone. If not, you can go to sportscage.com and sift through the pieces and listen to what you want there. It's Maz in for Barney today, along with Sharky, and Thursday means what we always do the NASCAR report, and the past couple times Sharky and I have done it, we've kind of given it our own little twist and a little spin. So let's get into the NASCAR report for this week.
The Sports Cage NASCAR Report, where rubbin' is racing, is brought to you by Croft Electric. 27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all your electrical needs. Visit croftelectric.com and on all socials.
Kevin James. I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
That's
Sharky,
a tough act
follow
to follow. Yeah,
follow that. No NASCAR prayer this week, Sharky. We had to go Kevin James and take a hard left turn into the wall.
Yeah, great intro by Kevin James. But week 3 of the playoffs ended, and Toyota once again led the field and wins the race. This time it's Christopher Bell. There have been 3 playoff races so far, and Joe Gibbs Racing has won all 3. I don't know what they're doing, but no one has been able to beat them so far in the first round of the playoffs. Toyotas did not dominate as previously, but they still took 4 spots in the top 10. The bottom 4 of the field in the playoff field were eliminated after this race. Josh Berry, who was in with a miracle finish at the Pennzoil 400 in Vegas, did not finish higher than dead last in the 3 playoff races he was in. So Josh Berry has been dropped from the playoff hunt, as has Austin Dillon, Shane Van Ginsberg, who's the darling of the road course, but we didn't have one, so he missed the cut. And Alex Bowman did everything he could to stay in the top 12, including changing his pit crew. But an 8th place finish did not get him enough to stay in the top 12. Second tough playoff finish for Bowman. He deserves better than what he's got. We now head to the next 3 races of the group of 12. This week we start at the Miracle Mile in New Hampshire at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. All previous points are in for the playoff teams, but again, it's win and you advance. Of the final 12 cars, there are only 5 teams in the mix. Joe Gibbs and his Toyota team has 3 cars. Hendricks Motorsports, 3 cars. Penske Ford has 3. The team of 2311, which is Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan, they have 2 drivers. And finally, Trackhouse Racing's Ross Chastain, in his number 1 Chevy, is the final in the field of 12. Remember, the next 3 races, the bottom 4 are eliminated from the NASCAR Championship Cup race. Question, does Toyota, and in particular Joe Gibbs Racing, continue to dominate? Or does a great showing from the Fords of Bristol get them back on top? See you around the TV Sunday. We got NASCAR and NFL on. It's a big day at your favorite sports bar. There you go.
One of the things I thought up last week, Sharky, when all hell was breaking loose on Regina roads because of the rain, I thought, what if you had to run a NASCAR race in Regina? Okay, so there's going to be underpasses, there's going to be water, what kind of tires are you using, what kind of fuel? There's going to be people just parked on the side of the road with their flashers. There's going to be hazards in the way.
It would be entertaining.
The other thing too, vehicle-wise, I was leaving the Home Depot parking lot yesterday, and I saw a mint condition Ford Bronco of the like O.J. Simpson, Al Cowlings area, and I'm like, man, that's a good looking vehicle. I don't know the guy driving it. It's got to be in a garage all the time. But I look at that and I still remember going, those were cool cars those were good looking vehicles back in the day. A nice Bronco, little lift on it. Nice.
You know what?
It was white as well.
Vehicles back in the day were distinguishable, right? You could tell the difference vehicle to vehicle. You could look down the street and you go, that is a Ford, or that's a Chevy, or that's whatever. And you could tell that not only the make, but the model. Nowadays, you can't tell one from another, right? Other than the odd colors Chrysler's painting stuff, you can't tell one vehicle from another as it's coming down the road. You actually got to see the logo on it. So I think they've gone to too much familiarity in the way the cars look. Even in NASCAR, they all look the same. You just got the small logo on the front and the grille that distinguishes between the three brands. So I wish we made cars like we made in the old days.
Sharky is sponsored by Chrysler and Flooring Superstore every Thursday when he was on.
Chrysler.
They've been dealing with Southern Saskatchewan for over 20 years. Time to take a break. When we come back, we'll ask Suits if he's a Hootie and the Blowfish fan. I bet you he's going to say yes.
He is.
We'll do press coverage with Glen Suitor right here on the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
For over 105 years, Athol Murray College of Notre Dame in Wilcox has shaped leaders who have changed the world. From its humble prairie beginnings, the school has produced over 215 NHL players, 9 Order of Canada recipients, and countless leaders in the area of business, science, the arts, and citizenship. Grit, heart, and determination are the Hounds' legacy. Limited spaces are still available for the 2025-26 school year. To learn more and to apply, please visit notredame.ca today.
Not once, not twice. We give it the full triple check treatment. At Barassa & Sons, we triple check inspect your New Holland equipment, saving your Barassa time and money. 1-year parts and labor warranty on installed CNH parts and 10% off when you spend over $10,000. You bet your sweet Barassa. We take good care of your equipment at Barassa & Sons. Book before November 29th at ebarassa.com. Barassa & Sons. When it's in the bin, bring it in.
When's the best time to buy a new Volkswagen? Right about now. The VolksFest sales event is here. Finance all 2025 Volkswagen models from just 0% for 24 months. Or lease the fully electric ID Buzz for 0% for up to 48 months. Plus, get up to $1,000 VolksFest bonus cash on select Volkswagen models. Only until September 30th. See your local VW dealer today. Conditions apply.
Volkswagen.
Nelson Homes is having a summer blowout sale on quick possession homes that you don't want to miss out on. Get free delivery anywhere in Saskatchewan on select in-stock show homes and spec home RTMs. For more information, visit their website, homes.nlc.ca. Or for general information, call 1-800-661-6534. That's the Nelson Homes Summer Blowout Sale. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
Looking to sell farm machinery or heavy equipment? At Asset Link, they do more than auctions. They listen. Whether you want to consign or a full auction sale, they help you choose what's right for your bottom line. Born and raised right here in Saskatchewan, they understand the land, the market, and the people who make it run. So when it's time to sell, link up with the team that knows the prairies best. Selling 365 days a year. Asset Link. Prairie strong, customer focused. AssetLink.ca.
Aspen Links is bringing the wood Thursday nights. Yep, Thursday nights from 5 p.m. till dusk. Aspen's Driving Range Special. A bucket of balls and your choice of a delicious cold can of beer from Paddock Wood Brewery for only $15. Thursday, bucket of balls and beer for $15. DJ Chris P. Beats playing tunes and 25% off appies in the clubhouse. The perfect way to end the workday. Aspen Links. Bringing the wood Thursdays from 5 p.m. till dusk.
Get it hot, get it fast. Western Pizza
Ugh, what do I want for supper? There's a bag of baby carrots, a slice of cheese that looks haunted.
Step away from the sad cheese, Dave.
What, the fridge? Since when do you talk?
Since you've been standing here for 10 minutes whispering pizza or cereal like it's a hostage negotiation. I'll make this simple. Order Western Pizza. You are welcome.
Get it hot, get it fast. Western Pizza.
This summer, if you're thinking of a new building, think Olympic Buildings. They're engineered from top to bottom to be better than the rest. Strength, solid design, and impressive good looks are all standard on an Olympic farm building. Visit olympic-buildings.ca.
Country Corner, brought to you by Municipal Hail Insurance. Proudly serving farmers. municipalhail.ca.
Take in the Gift of Giving Gala this Saturday, September 20th at the Viterra International Trade Center in Regina. Great food, entertainment, and the chance to support mental health initiatives for children and youth. Full details at thegiftofgivinggala.ca. Support the Regina Youth Flag Football League by watching some of their exciting action this fall. 1,700 kids taking part with all games at the rugby fields. The last weekend of games is September 27th and 28th. Regina Youth Flag Football.com and celebrate Indigenous hockey legends Tuesday, September 30th at the Connexus Arts Center. A delicious dinner followed by hot stove sessions featuring 7-time Stanley Cup winner Brian Trottier, Dave Tiger Williams, Jordan Tutu, and more. Tickets at HockeyScoutsFoundation.com.
For more information, visit 620ckrm.com. We are 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station, streaming online at 620ckrm.com.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the sasktoday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news for Echo Sound in Fort Qu'Appelle. Stay connected with the new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. After years of planning, Regina's newest neighborhood, Coopertown, is set for construction following today's groundbreaking ceremony. The community will welcome 36,000 residents over 30 years with a mix of single-family homes, townhomes, and rental apartments. Amenities will include shops, retailers, and new schools. Dream Development says the project moved forward after City Council approved $66.8 million for a new wastewater lift station. CEO Michael Cooper said Southern Saskatchewan is a great location for this development.
We've seen all the oil and gas companies come here. I think one of the biggest investments in all of Canada, the Jansen mine, is being built. So Saskatchewan has a tremendous amount going for it.
Houses are expected to sell by 2027 with prices estimated between $400,000 and $500,000. Heavy rain across Saskatchewan brought much-needed soil moisture but slowed harvest progress, according to the province's weekly crop report. The province is now 53% harvested, compared with a 5-year average of 73%. The southwest region leads with 66% complete, while the northeast is at 42%. Canola harvest is underway with 21% combined, and mustard leads oilseeds at 41%. Quality reports show pea, lentil, and durum grades are close to 10-year averages, despite regional yield differences. Home values in Regina are climbing, according to RE/MAX, with prices up about 10%. Real estate agent Craig Adams says demand is strong due to low rental vacancy rates and historically low numbers of homes for sale. Regina currently has fewer than 800 properties listed, including condos and duplexes. The Saskatchewan Realtors Association reports the city's benchmark home price is $341,300, which is about $300,000 less than the national average. Adams says affordability continues to attract buyers from other provinces. Finance Minister François-Philippe Champagne says Canada can fill Europe's growing industrial demand just like it did in the Second World War. Champagne says in an interview that Canada must diversify its economy away from the U.S. and that Europe is a perfect market for Canadian defense firms. He compares the looming economic shift to Canada's wartime effort 80 years ago.
We did it during the war. Go back to 1945. Canada was the center of the Allied production when it came to planes. Canada was at the center of production when it came to ships. Canada was at the center of production when it came to military vehicles.
Champagne is heading to Denmark today to meet with other finance ministers in the European Union and attempt to sell them on deepening transatlantic ties. And U.S. President Donald Trump's helicopter has made an unscheduled landing due to a minor hydraulic issue as he was leaving the UK.
The White House says there was a, quote, minor hydraulic issue with Marine One that caused President Trump and the First Lady to use a support helicopter to travel to the airport where Air Force One was waiting to take them back to Washington. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said in a statement, quote, due to a minor hydraulic issue and out of an abundance of caution, the pilots landed at a local airfield before reaching Stansted Airport. The President and First Lady safely boarded the support helicopter. The President spoke to reporters on Air Force One while en route back to D.C., but didn't mention the hydraulic issue. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Weather is next.
When's the best time to buy a new Volkswagen? Right about now. The Volksfest sales event is here. Finance all 2025 Volkswagen models from just 0% for 24 months. Or lease the fully electric ID Buzz for 0% for up to 48 months. Plus, get up to $1,000 Volksfest bonus cash on select Volkswagen models. Only until September 30th. See your local VW dealer today. Conditions apply.
Volkswagen.
This back-to-school season, don't be prehistoric.
Mom, my phone is basically a fossil.
Sweetie, your phone's older than a T-Rex.
Time to evolve at Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer.
They have new phones, back-to-school deals, internet and Max TV stream, and no extinct data plans.
In 2025, there's no excuse to roam with a Jurassic phone. Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Capel. EchoSound.ca.
620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast brought to you by Matt's Furniture. Visit mattsfurniture.ca. And for Line-X Regina, serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street. Now, your precision weather forecast.
Cloud cover lingers through the night. Areas of drizzle and fog. Mainly fog into the morning hours. Most of the drizzle dries up. And through the day Friday, some of the cloud cover dries up. At least a bit of sunshine breaking through during the afternoon. Likely at least some degree of cloudiness remains. And it thickens back up before finally clearing out into the weekend. Temperature overnight around 11, 19 degrees the high on Friday. Wind light through the stretch, in fact, nearly calm by Friday night. Those extra clouds come in, then we clear out late Friday night, low of 9. Mostly sunny on Saturday, the high around at 24, and we're looking like it's going to be a pretty good weekend. Mainly sunny sky and warm both days of the weekend. Watching Sunday night, though, for some clouds and a couple of spotty showers. A few of those may linger into early Monday. Risk for some thunderstorms, too. As the day goes on Monday, we'll shake the clouds. Partly sunny, 20, but showers return Monday night and Tuesday. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
He's at it again. Matt's sharpening his pencil to save you money at Matt's Furniture. Now till October 1st, it's the Maytag Dependable Savings Event. Buy any 2 qualifying Maytag major kitchen appliances and save an extra $150. Buy 3 or more and save an extra $300. And buy any Maytag eligible washer and dryer pair and save an extra $100. See in store for all the details. Matt's Furniture in Fort Capel, Kamsack, Melville, and Foam Lake, or online at mattsfurniture.ca.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Access Communications, trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, and home security. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back. Final hour of the Sports Cage on this Thursday. You missed any of it, you can always go back and listen to the podcast or watch 2 good-looking bald guys do their thing. I said, what I told Arash, there are no trips to Turkey to the hair transplant places for me. This is how I'm meant to be, and this is how I'm going to stay. This is as good as it gets.
We may need some sponsorship. Yeah. Sponsored.
What
Some
did
of
he
that
say?
fancy shampoo. Hair Club for Men.
Stay hot and stay healthy. Was that his tip to us?
Yes.
I was like,
yeah.
Then I'm like, I was trying to read between the lines. I'm like, is that a good thing? Is there a thinly veiled suggestion in there that you and I need to work on ourselves?
I think the healthy is the one thing we should work on. I don't think we can do anything about the hot.
Oh, speaking of, now you're older than me, but last week, and I am not complaining. It's a tough economy out there, and anytime you can get a deal, get it. I went to Shoppers Drug Mart. No free shout-outs, but I'm going to say free shout-out. And you know how everything is locked up nowadays? It's just the world we live in. I went to go buy some American Crew shave oil because when you shave your head every day, you need something because it just, yeah. And so I go to the till. She goes, the lady that unlocked the case said, I'll take it over here. Go over there. And I'm 52 years old. I'll be 53 next month. She gave me the seniors discount. I didn't ask for it. She just did it. And I knew no one would believe me. So I brought the bill home and I showed my wife and she's like, this is great. I'm like, this is great. I'm like, I'll take, I'm all in.
I've been getting it for years.
I'm all in.
Yeah, I've been getting it there for years. So yeah, getting the seniors discount.
But on the flip side of that, our oldest daughter's 13 and she looks quite young. So she's on that edge of, does she qualify for a kids meal discount anymore? So now we're kind of fighting that battle. And the Saskatchewan thrifty side of me is like, no, she's 12. No, she's good. She's probably going to be, she's 12 for a couple more years. All right, let's talk sports. Let's go coast to coast with, or let's do press coverage with Glen Suitor.
Time now for press coverage with CFL and Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Glen Suitor on the Sportscage. Brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090.
Hey, Suits, are you getting the seniors discount anywhere these days? Hey, $1's $1, and if you can stack them, that's even better, right?
I absolutely love it. In fact, my trip with my buddy to Europe this year, in the off season, we were actually searching out for all of the different tours and castle visits and whatever it might have been that we were doing from a tourist perception. We were looking for those discounts. We were, and you should have seen the celebration when, for $1.50 because you're over 60, you get $1.50 off. And man, high-fiving. It's which is probably an image of a 60-year-old high-fiving over $1.50 is probably not a great one. But yeah, I'm pumped by it. Yeah.
Yeah. We're at that age. Man. We're taking advantage of the discounts that come our way. Yeah.
Good parking spots up front, Sharky.
I'm not quite to those spots yet, but it's getting close.
Suits, where are you? What games are you doing this weekend? Are you on an East Coast tour?
I'm on an East Coast tour. The new mandate. We have a new sort of executive producer. I don't know if it's that's exact title yet, but new guy in charge that's been with us for a long time and really felt that it was not great for us at the network or really even the teams to have sort of a Western broadcast team and an Eastern broadcast team. So usually Rod Smith and Dwayne Ford would do all the East games, and then Dustin and I would do the West, and then Marshall Ferguson would be mixed in there. When we have the 3 games in 3 days and things like that. But there's a new mandate now, guys, and they think that we should be going to each city, making sure we visit with each city so we can go and talk to the players personally on the field at times. The PR people were more engaged with them across the league rather than just in the West Division. It's a lot of different sort of mandates. So I'm out here in Toronto, and then I will be doing the Hall of Fame game Saturday night in Hamilton.
Nice tour. Well, you brought up the 2 games that I think are, to me, they're the biggest. The Lions Stampeders one I know is pretty big, but in terms of playoff implications for these 4 clubs, they're huge. Als and Argos Friday night. Is this a chance for the Alouettes to get ahead, or can the Argos find a diamond in the rough with their 3rd-string quarterback?
Yeah, I'm not even sure if it's third. I mean, both these teams are in similar situations where they've gone through a bunch of different quarterbacks at different times. I mean, McLeod Bethel-Thompson, we know the game he came off. I know we're putting that to bed. That one's gone in Saskatchewan. But, with Montreal, they feel pretty good about the game he just came off of. They feel good about their defense getting their footing again. That 5-game losing streak, their last 3 games, they were giving up well over 30 points a game, which was sort of unheard of at the beginning of the year for the Montreal defense. So they've kind of found their game again. And for Toronto, man, the changes on that offensive unit. I mean, Jared Daggy is going to start at quarterback. They don't have DeMonte Coxie. They are basically going with Not I wouldn't say backup receivers, because these guys have played this year. I'm talking about a guy like Jake Hurstville and guys like that have played this year and actually played pretty well, but just not their star players. So changes on the O-line, changes at tailback, and the big one changes at quarterback. So I think it's going to be a real challenge. I don't make predictions. Every journey is different, but it's going to be a challenge for Toronto. Even though they're at home, it's going to be a challenge without Nick Arbuckle and the way he was playing. Arbuckle was throwing for around, almost 800 yards in his previous 2 games.
Yeah, he'd come alive. That's for sure.
Yeah. Suits, one of the things that when I saw last weekend, I know you said we want to put the Rider thing to bed and all of that. Now, as I think about that game, and I think of just the emotion or maybe lack thereof from the Riders, because when I saw on the flip side of that, we saw earlier Ryan Dinwiddie, after that field goal was kicked, he's up and down the sidelines. There's words with the Edmonton bench. They're fired up. They're fighting for their lives. Every game means something from here on in. And same with the Eskimos. I love the urgency. Now, you've played. Can you beat a team that has the will? Because sometimes that's all it takes, is that belief where guys are like, I'll fight you to the last punch. It doesn't matter if I get knocked out. I'm in this to win this.
Yeah, I've talked about that before with regards to, playoff hockey and the difference between playoff hockey and regular season hockey. And how, we expect pro athletes to play at their best all the time. I mean, be prepared to play at your best every game, because it may be your last opportunity. So, that's kind of a goes without saying, mantra. But we're still human beings. And, when you go to back-to-back, and we talked about this on Tuesday, but the back-to-back Labor Day game and then the Banjo Bowl, and win both of those games. And that second game has been such a tough win for Saskatchewan for so long. And then win it. And then know that you have a bye right after the Montreal game. I looked at it and I thought I should have saw this coming, that they weren't going to play their best, that there was going to be a little bit of a intensity drop, let's put it that way. And Montreal was coming off a bye and 5 straight losses. A very good team that was coming off 5 straight losses. And there was a level of urgency for them, and the intensity was just higher. We talked about the corners and we for Saskatchewan and how Tyson Philpott, really took advantage of that. But, the corners had nothing to do with giving up 150 yards on the ground either.
No.
So that's an intensity issue. And, I'm sure the players felt like and thought they were well prepared, thought that they were doing everything they needed to do to get ready like they had every game. But you're also a human being, and you sometimes can't control it. It's organic, and you're not sure why, and you get out there and you're just a step behind. And they certainly were in that game. I expect it to be back next week when they get back from the bye. But, clearly different levels of intensity in that one.
We're going to see some changes in the playoff setup as we come up through this weekend, or at least we should, with all the games that there's so much affecting the standings. But the Lions and Stampeders, this is a chance for the Lions to get themselves into third, make a big splash. But it's also Mr. Vernon Adams' first chance against his former team. What do you see in this contest as we prepare for tomorrow night?
Yeah, and Calgary coming off a bye. I guess if you're a Rider fan, you're sort of cheering for BC
without a doubt. Yeah,
because that would keep it sort of muddy in the third place and crossover playoffs. You know, keeps that really muddy, and it allows you to keep the separation with Calgary. But yeah, that's the main storyline going into that one is Vernon Adams and Nathan Rourke, and you know Vernon Adams will do and say the right things. He's not going to react like Ryan Dinwiddie did at the end of the last game, which, by the way, I found quite refreshing in today's day and age. I
Me
really
too.
did.
I thought it's great.
Yeah. And I talked to Ryan this week, and I told him that. I said, you know, in this, everybody gets canceled and so sensitive and all this stuff. You know what? You showed your emotion. Good for you.
Exactly.
You know, and he goes,
yes.
You know, he goes he did apologize to his team. And he doesn't want that to get out of hand. I mean, that type of feeling in the wrong hands could cost you a game because of a bad penalty and a bad decision within the game. But he apologized to his team, and he said, look, my emotions were there. But what I found out was the trash talking had begun in warm-up, and his players were ready to just go at it because they're on the same sideline early in the game. And they all controlled their emotions long enough to get to the end of the game, and then Dinwiddie reacted. But yeah, I don't think Vernon Adams in the Calgary-BC matchup is going to show that kind of emotion. I don't think he's going to be trash talking the sideline. He's got a lot. He's a focused guy. He's one of those guys that is taking mental reps while he's waiting for the team to huddle up. Do you see Vernon Adams often, warming up his arms while he stands there waiting for the huddle to come together? And he's keeping his shoulder loose, and he's visualizing and actually going through a throwing motion with his hand without the ball in it, just because he's visualizing the next play. So, I think he's going to be under control, but I guarantee you he would love to beat, Nathan Rourke in a big way here. And just sort of a little kind of maybe wave to the sideline to say you kept the wrong guy. So
yeah.
I mean that is the storyline in Vancouver for sure. But the standings part of it is more important, and the standings part of it for Saskatchewan is BC wins. That's better for them because Calgary would still be in striking distance if they do.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think beyond that, Vernon Adams Jr., and I don't know if anybody's mentioning this, hasn't played very well in the past couple of games. He's played kind of okay at times, but not complete games like at the start of the season. He needs to get back on a roll and develop a little more consistency, I think. Suits, it's week 16. There's still a lot of football left to be played, but if you're asking me, this is a must-win for Winnipeg in Ottawa on Saturday for them to keep their playoff hopes alive. And who would have thought we'd be talking about maybe the Bombers missing the playoffs this year? But are you in must-win Blue Bomber territory as well?
Well, I'm in must-win for both of those teams almost. Like, I've always said that must-win is really only truly when you either win and you're in, or you win or you lose and you're out. And this is not that. But with the way the standings are and the log jam that's down there, I think this is as close to a must-win for both of these teams. The team that loses that game probably doesn't make the playoffs. Like, there's a very good chance they're not making the playoffs. And that could mean Winnipeg. If, Drew Brown comes back and they get that offense firing on all cylinders, they've got great weapons in the receiving core, Ottawa does. And, let's see what they can do with Drew Brown back in the saddle. But I just feel like in that game, the team that loses that game is out of the playoffs. It's just that tight.
I agree with you on that. I do. I think that the momentum, the Bombers have lost 3 in a row. To go to four consecutive losses, especially without your starting quarterback. Streveler has not looked like a quarterback, like a true bona fide number one starter. I think Winnipeg's in a lot of trouble regardless come this weekend.
Yeah, it's a different look, isn't it? It's the mystique of that team. The 7-point lead they have before they got off the bus is no longer there.
No.
And it's one of those things where you knew that cycle at some point was going to come to an end. Now they've got to try and scratch and claw to get in, and just get in. They're not going to have the last 2 or 3 games of the regular season like really buys because they can play backups because they've already locked up first place. I mean, that's been what it's like for at least a couple of the years over the last 5 and their appearances in the Grey Cup. And, it's going to be a completely different story for them this year.
I got one final question for you from my end before Maz closes you off. Any new bear sightings, Bob? Is it Bob or Brenda? Are we are we confirmed yet? Do we have any new bear sightings?
You know what? I just on Tuesday, I had taken, before I did the hit with Barney, I had taken my dog Maximus for a walk, and from my deck, I can see a path, like it's part of our walking path, and he usually does his business back there, and then we keep walking around, and I can see the path from my deck. So we walked around through the path, came around back on the deck. We were just sitting there, and he got up with, when the dog smells something completely, he was ears pointed and all of that stuff, and I went like, what's going on? And I look, and there goes Brenda or Bob, whoever, right through the trail that we were just on 10 minutes earlier. So I was kind of like, man, I wonder if it's time to have like a noisemaker or some bear spray or something, because we almost crossed paths, and it's not like a huge trail where you could kind of veer off. It's a really narrow kind of green space, and I thought we were just there 10 minutes ago. But he looks good, and the good news is I was a little worried about that Bob may have been either taken away or what might have happened, because I hadn't seen him for a while. But he's back there, and he looks healthy, and you know what, Sharky, as he was walking through the trail, he was walking over shrubs and just basically grinding a path. Like he did not care what was in front of him. He was knocking down little trees and just walking straight through everything. And I thought, oh boy,
we got to get a bell for you, Suits. You got to be wearing a bell now when you go out, right? Like you and the dog each got to have a bell on as you walk through the forest.
Exactly. I know that Maximus would react, and that would give me a heads up. But I just hate to turn a corner around a bush or something, and there he is. I mean, that would be the. What do you do then? But anyway,
he's still there. He's still there.
He's alive and well and still in the same neighborhood.
Love it. Love it.
Not if you had a few Saskatchewan Rider fans visit, Suits. Don't worry, we can get that taken care of in about an hour's time. We'll wrap on this. About an hour ago, we had Darius Rucker on, Hootie of Hootie and the Blowfish, and we asked him, "What's your favorite NFL team?" He said the Miami Dolphins. So, Suits, even when you're rich and famous and you have a lot going for you, there's always things that make you go, ugh. He doesn't have a lot of hope. And I'm sure you're probably going to be watching the game at the hotel, but they've already had a players-only meeting after week 1. Mike McDaniel looks like a dead man walking. And now Tua's out there saying he's jealous of how good Josh Allen is. Is this going to be a blowout in Buffalo tonight?
Well, from where I am right now in Toronto, I know that this city will hope so. I mean, there's enough Buffalo fans here, but Darius, first of all, is a country guy, not the Hootie and the Blowfish guy. He is a full-on country. In fact, when I was in Nashville, I got a chance to see him, and also his song "Wagon Wheel." Actually, it's not his song, but it was the cover that he did, and made big money off Wagon Wheel. I mean, that was huge. But my son used to joke in Nashville when he was playing the honky tonks. He said, Dad, you could play the first verse of Wagon Wheel, Darius Rucker's version, play the first verse at Legends Corner at the top of Broadway, and then you can play the second verse at the next pub down the street, and then you just go down Broadway because they're all playing the same song, and it's always Wagon Wheel, and you can play it all the way down the street, jumping back up on stage. He got so sick of Wagon Wheel, he promised he'd never play it again. But that's my Darius, favorite song for sure, and good country guy too. I like his voice, very cool. Yeah, but too bad for him on the Dolphins. That's too bad.
It's too bad.
All right, Suits, enjoy Ontario. After the games, if you stick around, if you end up in Parliament on Monday to make a few suggestions of how you think we need to get this country going in whatever direction you think it needs to go, feel free. Listen, you're a voter. You can probably pop in, say your piece, and do all that. Have a great call this weekend, and we'll catch up with you on Tuesday.
Buddy, I got a few ideas. I'll run it by him.
All right. Glen Suitor. Suits is talking tough, but listen, if he's not even going to handle the bear in his backyard, Sharky, how would you be handling a bear in your backyard?
You wouldn't see him twice. Yeah. It would be over. Yeah.
It would be it would be a short conversation. There'd be
one loud bang, you might be a backfire. It's the second and third shot that they'll identify, but the first one could be a backfire. So yeah, he would be gone. Yeah, it would be taken care of.
Yeah, it's Glen Suitor for Bronco Plumbing and Heating here in the Sports Cage. Time to take a break. The show is just flying by. When we come back, as we mentioned, it's week 3 kicking off in the NFL tonight. Also the Dub and the SJ start up tomorrow too. We'll dive into that as well. This is the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 620 CKRM.
At the cabin or on the farm, Access Rural Internet gives you speed and service you can rely on. Right now, get Access Rural Internet for as low as $69.95 a month for 24 months, including free service calls by our local techs, a free Wi-Fi router, and a strong, reliable signal matched by our strong, reliable customer service. Great service is never far away with Access Rural Internet. Visit myaccess.ca to book your free site survey.
The care your family receives in hospitals, schools, and community programs comes from SEIU West members who live in your community. We're united around something simple. When working people have what they need to do their jobs well, everyone benefits. Our conditions of work are your conditions of care. For more information, visit seiuwest.ca.
Fall is here and the water is fine. Water Vision Pool and Spas in Moose Jaw is your one-stop destination to relaxation. After a busy summer, the showroom is now fully restocked with hot tubs and accessories. And once harvest is over, it's time to relax in your brand new Hydro Pool hot tub from Water Vision in Moose Jaw. Get a good soak after a long day's work. Drop in today while the selection is at its best. The water is calling. Maybe you should answer. Water Vision Pool and Spas, High Street, Moose Jaw.
Howdy, y'all. It's Wood Country Woody again. Well, looks like new home prices are still higher than a giraffe on an extension ladder. But a custom and RTM home from Wood Country gives you what you're looking for at a price that's down to earth. They draft your home for you right in store. Then they custom build your home right on your site. Literally thousands less for a home you actually want. See Wood Country today.
Your home is your castle.
In McLean, Estevan, and Tisdale. Wood-country.com.
Hey, let's hit up Pump Jack's Cathedral.
Pump? You talking about my basketball shoes?
No, Pump Jack's Cathedral.
Who?
Pump Jack's Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. They're open now. They've got a large selection of local draft and food and drink specials. Kids are allowed until 8. There's live entertainment every weekend.
Let's go. I'm pumped.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, Pump Jack's Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
First Nations University of Canada invites you to join their annual Smudge Walk to honor the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation on September 25th. The day starts with a pipe ceremony at 8 a.m. and the walk through the First Nations University of Canada and University of Regina campuses begins at 9:30. Presentations and special announcements will follow with a community lunch on campus at noon. The first 200 people attending will receive an orange Every Child Matters t-shirt. For more information, go to fnuniv.ca.
Get it hot, get it fast. Western Pizza.
Can I help you?
Name's Terry Touchdown, sent by Western Pizza. I'm here to deliver the Saskatchewan Roughriders sweet deal. A large 3-topping pizza, 4 sticks of Greek souvlaki, a large Caesar salad, and a liter of soda. All for just $48.95 plus tax. And you're entered to win luxury suite tickets to watch the Riders, like a VIP.
And get it hot, get it fast. Western Pizza.
When the rut kicks in, there's no room for second chances. Get locked, get loaded. That's where Cash Tactical comes in. Brands like Browning and Winchester firearms, award-winning Vortex optics, and a full selection of ammunition. Start with gear that's as tough as you are. Cash Tactical, Regina's hunting, fishing, and camping headquarters. 2176 7th Ave in the Warehouse District.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
Jays lose today 4-0 to the Tampa Bay Rays. They start a series with the Kansas City Royals tomorrow. Yankees will take on the Orioles tonight. The Jays are 3.5 games up on the Yankees. Week 3 in the NFL kicks off in about 45 minutes time. Miami Dolphins in Buffalo to take on the Bills. Bills currently 12.5-point favorites. Could run their record to 3-0. The Dolphins could be 0-3 and looking at a new head coach and a new general manager by maybe this weekend, maybe early next week. And NHL training camps are in full swing, Sharky. And I'm not sure. I'm already tired of the Connor McDavid word salad interviews about this sign, don't sign. There was the 32 Thoughts episode with Elliot Friedman, and Connor, he just looks so uncomfortable in so many situations. He just looked incredibly uncomfortable. And then they were asking Leon about it after, and then Leon's stumbling and bumbling and fumbling, trying to, make, I don't know if they were did they come off as excuses, or it almost Leon should have been like, ask him, don't ask me. I'm signed up for 7 more years. I'm good. Like, it's pro sports.
I think there's so much to this contract signing, and I've talked about this before. The NHLPA wants him to get the max. He wants to be on a team that's going to win. He knows if he goes to the max, is it going to give Edmonton enough cap room to go get the bodies they need to win? The salary cap's going to go up, so what's the max going to look like? There's a lot in play here. Trading Connor or letting him go to free agency, nobody's got the cap space to take him. Somebody's going to have to give up so much to get Connor that it's not going to be the benefit. He's going to end up signing in Edmonton. It's just physically, it's not possible for anybody else to take him on and still be a contender. And he's not going to go to a team that's not a contender. He doesn't want to build from scratch. So it's going to work out. He's going to be there. It reminds me of what they did with Vladimir Guerrero, where they question. Blue Jays go in the tank. Everybody's upset. Well, we're not talking about that anymore, right? Like, we're talking about the Blue Jays winning. Let's focus on the winning part and not focus on the contract part.
Somebody I was listening to some sports radio yesterday, and somebody brought up a point that Montreal is a team that could do it. They have enough draft capital and everything else to do it. There are teams that would do it. And Stan Bowman, every general manager and head coach has a lifespan. We know this, right? Nobody sticks around forever. There are very few guys so Stan Bowman, so Stan Bowman, the general manager, I'm thinking your lifespan with the Oilers is probably anywhere from here 2 to 7 years, probably, right? That's the average. You've been there a couple.
Yep.
All right. So are you going to Brad Treliving this potentially if he were to walk? Like, I'm hoping that somewhere he has a file on his desk of the Connor McDavid what we could get file, because teams have probably reached out to be like, hey, if I'm a good GM, I'm just doing due diligence. What would you think this would take? Now, Connor would have final say. I get it. But when you start getting first round draft pick, first round draft pick, first round draft pick, this player, this player, this player. At some point, if you're Stan Bowman and you're trying to preservation, you can be the guy that lets him walk, or you can be the guy that sets the Oilers up for the future. Because I think, Oiler fans, he will leave you. I don't think he plays his whole career there. He will end up leaving.
Oh, that's a tough call to make. The Oilers right now give him the best chance to win the Stanley Cup. They really do.
But do they?
They do. They do.
They're saying, okay, so here's the best thing they've said about Stuart Skinner. He's lost 14 pounds. He looks lighter in camp. Okay?
Yeah.
But did that solve their goaltending problems? Stu Skinner doing Slim Fast shakes in the summer.
Stuart Skinner's going to be a very, very good goaltender in the National Hockey League for a long time. Right?
But he's too young. Like, as you said,
he's very young.
28, 29 is when they win. Yeah, I get it.
He's very young. Sergei Bobrovsky's 38 years old.
Sure.
Right? So let's I think that Stuart Skinner hate is in a bad place. I really do. I think they've got a great young goaltender there who's going to win with them for a long time. I just think they're trying to figure out how much money they can give McDavid and still have enough money to find the rest of the pieces they need to make them a Stanley Cup contender.
So let's say hey, Stu's good. We know he's the future. But if he's not the guy that gets us across the finish line this year, they got to find money somewhere to bring somebody in that could be the 1B or take over 1A. And if they don't have that now, then how does that work, giving McDavid a $6 million a year raise?
Well, exactly. And point me to who that guy is. Who is that guy that you think is going to be the next Stanley Cup champion that's presently not on a team that's going to win? I can't go and list a name. I mean, if you look what happened in Dallas, obviously that's not working, right? Colorado went and made a big splash. They didn't get out of or get deep in the playoffs. So let's figure who's that guy. There's not a guy out there that's been to the Stanley Cup Finals twice in the last 2 years, other than Bobrovsky and Skinner, right? Do you think Hellebuck wants to be in the Stanley Cup Finals? He couldn't get out of the second round. So I don't know where that guy is. So it's easy to say I'm going to replace somebody, like anything. But Miami's going to go, I'm going to replace the coach. Who's that coach? Who's that coach that's going to change that locker room and make Tua understand that he can actually be a quarterback instead of just a president of the Josh Allen fan club?
I still think that the longer this goes on, it will be a sideshow of, and I'm tired of it, and we're not really in the media, but this will always come up, and they're going to come out and say, and you know this, Shark, I'm not going to talk about this anymore. Like, once the season's out, I'm not going to talk about this, and I'm not going to answer any questions, and that's coming, whether it's next week or the week after, that will come. Oh no, it's all off limits. So there may be a breakup, and it could be sooner than later, but if you're Stan Bowman, hey, Brad Treliving, look at all the dudes that you let walk, and but you got a job with the Leafs. Stan Bowman, you'll get a job again, but do you want to be the guy whose watch it happens on? Probably not. He knows that. Yeah. Probably not. He knows that. And that...
You raise an interesting point, though. You raise an interesting point. What would that trade look like, Maz? And who are the players that can be in the mix? Because I don't think there's a lot of teams that have got the space to make it move and still be a contender when they're done. You said Montreal, but does Edmonton want to take on first-round picks when they're as close as they are to the finish line? Right? No.
Wouldn't that be great? Just because everybody hates the Oilers and their draft history of getting number one picks, that they were to do this, and they get Gavin McKenna, and people would just lose their mind. Twitter would melt down again. But again, got Gavin McKenna.
Yeah, you got to think about it, right? Who would have the capital to send back that would be worth the move, and who's got the cap space and the room to take them when they make those moves and still be a contender? It's not a long list. It really isn't.
I heard the Brad Marchand comments about the state tax thing, that because of that he can be there and the other players can be there, and he was just kind of chuckling, trolling the media. And I remember reading all of the online hate for Bill Zito and people, all the names they were. He's a clown. Who is this guy? He knows nothing. when the Tkachuk trade went down for Huberdeau. And every day I look back and I'm like, Bill Zito, as every day goes by, is the smartest man in hockey, and he pulled the tablecloth off the table, and every dish and piece of silverware stayed. And there's 2 pieces of jewelry on the table now.
There is.
And I'm like, yeah. Because I'm like, oh, the Flames signed Michael Backlund. He's part of your problem. That's why you're a mid-team, because he epitomizes Flames middle mucking
mediocrity.
Everything. Mediocrity. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to wrap the show. It's the Sports Cage right here on the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
Hospitals of Regina Foundation Home Lottery is bringing the excitement with the Canuck Adventure Bonus Prize. Tour Canada with a Toyota Land Cruiser, paddleboards, electric bikes, and park passes, or take $100,000 cash. Plus, be in to win the $1.7 million grand prize show home along with $50,000. What if this is your year? Don't miss your chance to win the Canuck Adventure Bonus Prize and many more exciting prizes. HRFHomeLottery.com.
This is Cal from Cowtown with an important public service announcement. This back-to-school season, everyone's talking about slowing down in school zones, healthy lunches, and apparently education is sort of important or something like that. But it's so easy to forget the pets. The dogs and the cats. Are they eating healthy and nutritious food from Cowtown? Or are they being forced to eat grocery store filler? Are they chewing down on the highest quality chew toys? Or are they chewing down on Auntie Loretta's stinky old slipper? Do you have the treats that will satisfy those cute puppy dog eyes? Forget the kids for a second. Think about your dog and your cat.
Cal, whoa. What are you doing?
Street guy, I'm kind of busy here.
How many dogs and cats bribed you for this message?
A lot.
In town, out of town, for toys to treats and the best pet food going, it's gotta be Cowtown. Cowtown Canada on Facebook.
Cow, no radio station is gonna play this commercial.
I know, unless I cut them in on some of this bribe money.
There's something we need to talk about: debt. I know it can be an uncomfortable topic, but the truth is most of us carry some form of debt and we are ashamed to talk about it. My name is Jasmine Brown, a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Regina. Every day, people struggling with debt come to me for a solution. When you make that call, I'll listen to your story without judgment and will lead you to a debt-free future. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to learn more.
Nelson Homes is having a summer blowout sale on quick possession homes that you don't want to miss out on. Get free delivery anywhere in Saskatchewan on select in-stock show homes and spec home RTMs. For more information, visit their website, homes.nlc.ca. Or for general information, call 1-800-661-6534. That's the Nelson Homes Summer Blowout Sale. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
It's the Scratch and Save event on now at Ashdown's Furniture in Moose Jaw. Scratch up to 40% off from now until September 30th. At the time of purchase, scratch and save to reveal your savings from 10% to 40% off. Woohoo! Sale applies to in-stock and special order home furnishings. Brands like Decorest, Palliser, Lazy Boy, Elran, Mako, Kingstown, Minus, and so much more. Now is the time to scratch and save. Woohoo! At Ashdown's Furniture, 38 High Street West, downtown Moose Jaw.
Is your house ready for fall, or does it still think it's living in July? Snap it out of denial with Freeze Tallman's all-weather at-home sale. From September 8th to 19th, order your windows and doors and get 15% off your entire order. Need to keep the cold out? Done. Want more light in? Easy. Tired of slamming that door from 1978? They've got you. But hurry, this sale ends September 19th. Visit freezetallman.com or see them in Regina or Fort Capel. Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
Aspen Links is bringing the wood Thursday nights. Yep, Thursday nights from 5 p.m. till dusk. Aspen's Driving Range Special. A bucket of balls and your choice of a delicious cold can of beer from Paddock Wood Brewery for only $15. Thursday, bucket of balls and beer for $15. DJ Chris P. Beats playing tunes and 25% off appies in the clubhouse. The perfect way to end the workday. Aspen Links. Bringing the wood Thursdays from 5 p.m. till dusk.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. From skid steers to tents to power tools, anything you need to rent for that summer job is at Prairie Land Rentals. Deal with the owner, 600 Albert Street. Welcome back to Sportscage. Connect with the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262.
From the Prairie Land Rentals text line, guys like McDavid and Draisaitl take up too much money. Teams that win spread the money around, making it more of a team, not one or two greedy contracts. They'll never win with attitudes like that. Plus, being in Canada, Canadian teams will never win the Stanley Cup again. Bettman won't allow it. Eli, I agree. Eli, last week, Sharky, you and I said, McDavid, do you want to win or do you want to get paid? Because you can probably have one or the other, but it just shows in the NHL with the way the economics are, you don't usually get both. When you have guys on super high-ticket contracts, it doesn't usually equate to winning the Stanley Cup. And, you know, part and parcel. And then there's the floor. And it's crazy that in the world we live in, it's greed and everything is about me. I have a guy, my buddy Internet Craig. He calls like LinkedIn is WIIFM. What's in it for me? Where it's only about you, and then you see teams like the Florida Panthers willing to sacrifice not only when they play the game, but then how they do their business so they can be part of a winner. They found a group of guys that want to win, and you're all still getting paid pretty decent cash. You're not a lot of guys going hungry there. So that's it. And hey, I don't blame McDavid for either. If he wants to get paid, you've earned it. If you want to win, you've earned that right to say, let's burn this thing down and build it back up how I see it. I'll take less. Let's go from there.
You think about winning especially in the National Hockey League. I mean, there's highs and lows, right? You can't build a team. You can't turn a team overnight, right? We can't suddenly make a winner that we didn't have before. So if you want to get to the top, you've got to start with the draft. You've got to sign some good free agents, sign some young guys along the way, make it happen. Make sure you don't draft guys like Trevor Zegras, who I think he's a moron and should never play in the National Hockey League. But anyway, different story. But you've got to build it from the bottom up. You can't suddenly turn it on. So the Oilers have built it to this point. Now they got to find the right pieces to put into it. I disagree with somebody saying that Bettman doesn't want the Stanley Cup in Canada. If you've ever met Gary Bettman and talked to him one-on-one and understand anything about him, he's truly a fan of Canada and everything that happens up here. So get that out of your head. That's garbage. But the Oilers are that close. They're that close. I don't think there's many teams that are in a place that are going to give you that great a chance to win. I mean, they can't trade him to Colorado, can they? What are you laughing at me about?
If I say anything that remotely is almost, unless I say I hate the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, I'll get text messages. People find me on Twitter. You're a Bomber apologist. You're this, you're that. This is Sharky's I'm an Oiler apologist world tour today because you are Stan Bowman's PR machine today, Sharky. I know, I love it. I appreciate it. Oiler fans are probably like, yeah, what Sharky said. Yeah, what Sharky said. Forget what Elliott said, what Sharky said. He's going to sign. It's going to be good. Sharky said it's going to be okay.
It's going to be fine. Relax. Same in Winnipeg. You're close. Don't throw it away. You're close. You're very, very close. It's the final two or three pieces, and they're the hardest ones to find. Right? Brad Marchand going to Florida, everybody thought, what's this going to do for him? It turned out to be the fountain of youth for that guy. I hate him. I think he's terrible. I wish he was an American so I could hate him more, but he's not. But the point being, they're close. They need a couple of tweaks. Now, I just read today Hyman's going to be out for an extended period of time with a wrist injury. So, I mean, that's another example of the bad luck that goes along that takes away from that opportunity to get to the top. But don't give up on Stuart Skinner, right? Because you can't point me to another goaltender that's going to take you to the top right away. And McDavid's going to stay there because there's literally nowhere else for him to go. Nobody else can make the move.
You've made your bed now, lad. The Oilers and the Flames will play a split squad game on Sunday. with, I'm assuming Connor is not going to Calgary to play with a bunch of rookies at the aging Saddle Dome. If he does play, it'll be at Rogers Place in Edmonton. He probably won't play. I think he's good. Coach knows what he can do. Maybe Draisaitl's got to go prove what but
no, I
may
think they'll
not
be
see
okay.
him Sunday.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see either of them. Yeah, they'll be.
Yeah,
they'll both be
how good is it going to be next year? Because still the NHL has like 300 NHL preseason games next year. What does it go down to 4 in part of their new CBA? There's 4 preseason games. That's it. Yeah, and then the season starts sooner, which I love. Now, if we could just get the CFL to start sooner and end sooner, and then the Stanley Cup will be handled out by late May, early June.
Yes, and we'll get the Olympic break coming up this year as well, right? Which I think is going to be some unbelievable hockey that we're going to have. But again, injuries could affect who's on what team at what time. Remember the last time we went to Italy, we didn't send the note that the A group. We sent the 1As. And it didn't turn out very well for us. But I like them going to 4 preseason games. There's not many surprises. Nobody goes to camp and makes the team as a walk-on or as a rookie or whatever. They've got you penciled. They know where you're going to be before you get there. So the preseason games are literally just a chance to tune up. And I like eliminating that and getting to the real action.
Hot take.
Go ahead.
I don't much care for... I know you guys, and there's people, they love the Olympic hockey.
You don't like it, eh?
It's okay. It's okay, but it's not, as some people get so passionate about Olympic hockey. To me, good playoff hockey, where it means that they're playing for the Stanley Cup, to me, that's one thing. I get it. There's the medal. There was the golden goal, all of that. It just doesn't, it's not the same. It's like when the NFL games go and play in Europe. I don't care to watch them. I want to watch Cleveland lose at home or Jacksonville. I don't need to see you in Germany losing. Those poor fans paying all that money watching horrible football.
I think that's the reason they send them to Europe, is they give North America a break from how bad some of those teams are. You guys go play a couple games in Europe and get off TV and don't bother us anymore. Yeah.
The Miami Dolphins are going to be relegated to every other game being played in Europe now.
Yeah.
After tonight.
Miami Dolphins are going to play in Mexico City, Rio de Janeiro, but not in Miami. Yeah. And not in Buffalo anymore after they get smoked tonight. Yeah.
Sharky, I think we did okay today. No text from Barney telling us what we could have done better. So let's probably wrap the show here on a high point. I know. I'm like, if you're listening, why don't you just come on if you're going to give pointers? All right. Let's see. Blades play-by-play guy entering his 32nd year as of tomorrow.
Wow.
Les Lazaruk joined us on the show. Darius Rucker of Hootie and the Blowfish and of country music fame was also on the show. We had Arash Madani and Glen Suitor. If you missed any part of what we did today, you can always get the podcast on demand. Apple, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, Twitter, MySpace. Any other social media channels I may have missed there? Is there anything new?
You got more than I know of. You're way ahead of me, so more than I know of.
Yeah, we haven't updated the MySpace account in a while. Or you can just get everything at sportscage.com. That'll do it for today. Back tomorrow at 3. Brand new show. SJ and Dub starts tomorrow, and we will have James Gallo, voice of the Moose Jaw Warriors, join us, and Farhan Lalji from TSN. Have a great night. This has been the Sports Cage.
At the cabin or on the farm, Access Rural Internet gives you speed and service you can rely on. Right now, get Access Rural Internet for as low as $69.95 a month for 24 months, including free service calls by our local techs, a free Wi-Fi router, and a strong, reliable signal matched by our strong, reliable customer service. Great service is never far away with Access Rural Internet. Visit myaccess.ca to book your free site survey.
George, we've been putting this off too long. We're not getting any younger, and the kids need to know the plan.
I know. It's just so complicated. We've talked to a couple of accountants, lawyers, a neighbor, even the bank sends someone out to see us. Everyone's got a different answer.
If we don't do it right, it could stir up trouble in the family, and taxes could be a nightmare.
We should find someone independent. No products, no agenda. Just written advice and a clear process.
Someone who can work with what we have, talks to the kids, farming or not, and pulls all the advice together.